Good morning, everybody. Brock and Salk show here on Seattle Sports. 710, seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports application, and all the podcast platforms out there, plus YouTube and 97.3 HD2. If you like to listen in crystal clear, high-definition radio, you can do so at 97.3 HD2. YouTube, Brady Henderson will be in. If you want a good glimpse of Brady, he will be in from 7 to 9 today, getting us ready for Seahawks season. So that starts, of course, on Sunday. Football started last night. What did we think? What was it like having football back? Were you guys happy? Were you excited? What was the general vibe of getting football back last night?
Outside of the weather delay, it was great.
I thought it was great last night. Brock likes to admit things all the time, probably more than I do. He's more of an admitter than I am. But I will say I was like having a little trouble, and maybe this is true every year. You could go back and probably pull sound and find that I've said this before, but having a little trouble getting into football season, not going to lie. Just having a little trouble with it. I just, you know me, I get unbelievably pumped for the beginning of baseball. There's something about the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, kids going back to school, weather changing. It's really probably just the weather. I am just seasonally affected by the change in weather. I love the summer. I can't stand the winter, and it affects me. And the beginning of football season does have, it comes with the beginning of the weather changing, which I just hate. I hate that crispness in the air. I hate that the leaves are going to fall. I hate that it's going to start raining. I hate that it's going to be cold. I hate it. Versus the beginning of baseball season, you're like, it's about to be nice. It's going to get beautiful out soon. Everything's going to be great. So that difference always kind of gets me. So I was having a little trouble getting like pumped up about football season. And I turned that game on last night right at the start, and I was like hooked, all in, 100%, like all into that game. I loved it. That was a great football game right from the start. Back and forth. The offense dominated. Both offenses dominated early. Defenses kind of dominated late. The better team ended up winning. CeeDee Lamb with a couple of brutal drops. Two great quarterbacks, and I'm a big Dak fan. Two really good quarterbacks going back and forth throughout the game, both playing really well. I'm sorry, Maura, for your fantasy team. Couple of terrible drops from CeeDee Lamb. Not the last one.
Happy with him.
No one's going to – you can't call that last one a drop. I'm with Chris Collinsworth. That last one was not a drop. That was a play that he probably could have made, but should have made would be a bit of an overstatement. The one before it on the deep ball, like, dude, you just got to catch that ball. You got to catch that. That's just, you're CeeDee Lamb. You're being counted on to make that play in that moment. But, man, how about those two quarterbacks? I loved it. It's funny. I got a text from a friend last night saying that, like, he's not a big Jalen Hurts fan. He's like, I just think he's boring. Like, I don't think he's boring at all. I think Jalen Hurts does just about everything you can do on a football field well. He throws it well. He runs it well. He sees it well. Like, what else do you want from Jalen Hurts? I think he is an excellent quarterback. There's a reason he's played in a couple of Super Bowls already. What did they say? He's played in like 5 of the last 9 years or something. He's been in a championship game. No kidding. He's really, really good player.
There's something with like the rest of the talent that the Eagles have amassed there that makes some people give Jalen Hurts less credit because of it.
I don't see it at all. They do have a lot of talent there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, it's a great offensive line. They've got good wide receivers, and they've got good running back, obviously. But he still makes it all go.
The Cowboys had a pretty good defensive game plan last night, especially for missing Micah Parsons, which they were. You could see it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Jalen Hurts a couple times just ran and got that first down on his own in situations where that's not necessarily what he's known for.
I thought he ran so well last night. I mean, he's a great runner. Yes. I think he is a great runner of the football. Maybe not quite Lamar Jackson.
I mean, I guess he but yeah.
I mean, more when he was at Oklahoma, that was like what he was for a while. Like, that's how he brought himself back. I don't know.
I feel like the last couple of years, they've made him more of a passer.
Because he's a good passer. Because he's not just a runner. I get why you feel that way, because he's not just a runner. I think he is one of the best quarterbacks in the game, bar none. I'm just a big, big fan, and it's really too bad. I've said this a bunch of times. I'll say it again. It is too bad that Russ nixed the trade to Philadelphia, because if we had Jalen Hurts here, man, I think we'd be having different conversations about the ceiling for the Seahawks the last couple of years. I just am a huge fan of his. So that was fun last night. And I've always been a Dak fan.
Back is wild.
I have always been a Dak fan. I know that there are people that aren't. I know that people like to kind of rip on Dak. He's not perfect. He certainly isn't as fast as he used to be. I think Dak's a pretty good quarterback, and I thought last night he had a whale of a game. Unfortunately for him, a bunch of drops, but I thought Dak played really well. Now, that leads you to what happened at the beginning of the game. That was the story, of course, from last night. You know, the game is one thing. It's just 1 out of 17. Eagles win, whatever, probably what everyone expected. But I don't know that anybody expected Jalen Carter to be tossed before the game even really got underway. Misses the entire game for spitting at Dak Prescott. Hold on. On Dak Prescott. Not at him, on him. He spit on him, not just at him. Let's be clear. Let's get the terminology correct. And unsurprisingly, because I have been a big Jalen Carter guy, people are on the text machine killing me for this. Salk, I should just say, Salk probably still wants Jalen Carter. Darn right. Do I still want Jalen Carter on my team? Yeah. Guy does one dumb thing, and you're like, oh, well.
I don't think it's. I don't think
know
it's
about one dumb thing.
One dumb thing in the NFL.
I think there's still this feeling of eventually it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you have the
He's a
best
hothead.
defensive lineman in the NFL.
There was a lot of tweets circling around last night about fleeing the scene. He's an expert at it, etc.
He's got some issues. There's no doubt in his past. He's the best defensive lineman in the NFL.
No, he's done some dumb stuff on the field for them even before last night.
He's the best defensive lineman in the NFL. He is. He's the best defensive lineman in the NFL. Would I want Jalen Carter on my team? Yes. Yes, of course I would. Of course I would still want Jalen Carter on my team. Now, what do we make of Dak spitting first? Does that change things for you at all? That Dak spit first? We didn't know that when it first went down. If we had seen it all right from the beginning, I wonder if some of it would have felt a little bit different as opposed to only getting to see the retaliation.
I mean, to me, he stared him down and spit in his direction, which, yes, is disrespectful, but spitting on someone is much different.
Yeah, which is why one guy got thrown out and the other guy didn't.
You got to keep your cool still. Like, we've seen guys get ejected for this before. You know you can't spit on someone.
Yeah, but Dak spit right at him. He tried to spit on him, I think.
I don't think so.
Really?
No.
He spit right at his feet. That's pretty disrespectful also.
Well, it's always the second punch that gets you in trouble. It's
Understood.
never the first one.
I totally get it. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have gotten in trouble. You gotta throw him out of the game. I got no issues with it whatsoever. Throw him out of the game. They did the right thing, and that is absolutely correct. I don't think he should be suspended beyond that. Do you? I heard Chris Canny was railing about that this morning. Like, yeah, he served a game. I don't think he needs to be suspended for that. I mean, you suspend guys for, throwing punches, for taking steroids, for betting on football. Like, there are drug
people,
use.
and I was telling you, my mom is one of them, and I think Chris Canty's one of them that would rather be punched in the face than spit on. They think it's the most disrespectful.
He's very
thing
disrespectful,
on the
but he
planet.
was also spit at
I don't
right
think I'd
before
rather be
it.
punched in the face, even though spitting is gross. I don't want to take a punch.
I think that's right. No, I get that more. Especially from an NFL lineman like Jalen Carter. Yeah, I think I'd rather be spit on than take the punch. But I think the fact that Dak spit right at him, it mitigates a lot of it for me. I think you still throw him out of the game. I got no problems with that. You can't do that. But
You're getting some support on the Dak starting it thing on the text.
Dak started it. He spit at him.
I don't.
Sorry, man. You spit at somebody, you open the door for them to spit back at or on you. Absolutely. Totally agree on that. Yeah, I would say that's kind of the way it goes. And it gives a little bit of context, not excuse, but context to what happened. I don't know. Look, I'm biased. I do like Jalen Carter. I do think he's a great player. I do think the Seahawks should have drafted him in that spot, and I'm probably never going to change my mind on that unless he's like thrown out of the league. In the meantime, he misses one game, and you can see just how much they missed him. He's really, really, really good player. He is an excellent player. And he's a big part of the reason they won the Super Bowl last year and went to the Super Bowl the year before that. Like, he's just really good. I don't know what to tell you. And the fact that he spit on him is disgusting. Like, you shouldn't do that. I'm not here to legitimize it or speak up for it in any way. That's a no-no. You can't do it. And he's going to serve his punch. But even the way he handled it, I thought was pretty good. He wasn't crazy afterwards or defiant. He's like, yeah, that's what happened. I'll play you some of the sound here in Need to Know. We'll give you everything you need to know, including the Mariners gearing up for a huge series that starts tonight in Atlanta, and the Seahawks getting ready to start the season on Sunday. It's all next on Brock and Salk.
Touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-266-3845. Again, that's 800-266-3845. 800-266-3845.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's refractive lens exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, no contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top: you never develop a cataract. Now, if you're somebody like me that had a pair of readers in every room of the home, in your car, you had to bring them into the restaurant with you. Otherwise, like me, you couldn't read the menu. That has all been rectified thanks to RLE. So whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to recommend what's best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now, so you don't miss an episode.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, you can't keep an eye on everything, unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
When the weather changes, your home shouldn't be the one left unprepared. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. We offer the strongest solutions in roofing, siding, decking, windows, and gutters, made for the Pacific Northwest. And right now, get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months or up to $3,000 off your next project. No gimmicks, no stress, just reliability you can count on. Visit stateroofing.com or call 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule your free estimate today.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. Goodbye baseball. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
The Mariners' postseason push is on, and there's a whole new way to be part of the action. Introducing the Homestretch Flex Plan, a $500 membership that gives you the freedom to choose your games and seats for the rest of the season, all while saving 5% on tickets and no fees.
Strike 3 call. Triple digits to end it and complete the sweep.
You can use your credit however you want. Go big with club seats for a couple high-stakes showdowns, or stretch it out until the final series against the Dodgers. And the best part? Homestretch Flex members get priority access to our postseason pre-sale. That means you're first in line when October comes calling. The team is locked in.
J.P. Crawford! Game winner, walk-off fashion in the 9th inning.
And now it's time to bring the energy down the stretch. Come on board today at mariners.com/homestretch. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, to call this a big series in Atlanta, that would be, I would say, a huge understatement. After dropping 5 of the first 6 games of this road trip, the Mariners have put themselves in a bit of a bind. Something's got to change. It's got to change quick. The secret? Pitch better, I think, on the road and capitalize on those opportunities that come their way offensively. What are you going to do? Charlie Furbush on yesterday with Wyman and Bob says, I don't know, maybe make a change to the lineup.
And my thought was to put Josh Naylor in the leadoff spot as somebody that's going to get on base more. You can still keep, Cal, Julio, Cal, and then go right to Gino. I think you bump Brandy back to the 5 spot. Even the 6th spot, depending on Polanco and how the matchup goes.
I mean, I like the idea. I like the thought of maybe moving things around. I don't know if I think putting Josh Naylor in the leadoff spot against the lefty and Chris Sale tonight is necessarily the way to get that done.
They
but
did go on to say probably after Sale.
Yeah, I get it. I'm sure. Charlie knows what he's doing. But I just... Is changing around the order going to do it? Like, I don't really mind the batting order, to be honest with you. I've really not had a problem with that. You just got to deliver when it comes to you, when the baton gets passed to you, you got to deliver on it. I mean, the batting order could be the part of it, but to me, you got to pitch better on the road, and no batting order is going to change that. I also said a bunch of times, I just think they're tired, and I think it might be a little too late to deal with that. This was John Morosi yesterday with Wyman and Bob.
There's enough there with the Rangers to where, their bullpen's been pretty solid with Milner. He helps them out back there. I think they are going to be a threat down the stretch. Their schedule, though, is difficult. They've got a series against the Brewers next weekend. This is still the Mariners' spot to win or lose.
Yeah, he's talking there about the division and about the wild card and the Rangers and everybody else kind of creeping up behind them right now. 3.5 back in the division as the Astros lost yesterday. 1.5 up on Texas. And 2 up on Kansas City and Tampa, both of whom won yesterday. So 3 really good pitching matchups set for this weekend. Logan Gilbert and Chris Sale tonight. Bryce Miller and Hurston Waldrop tomorrow. You said, Lyle, he's been really good this year. And then Luis Castillo is going to try to get things turned around against Spencer Strider early on Sunday morning. I think they play 9 a.m. our time. And then no rest. They fly straight back across the country and take on the Cardinals on Monday at home. So just a strange schedule quirk with the day off yesterday and no day off before flying back across the country. I told you, I think they're tired, and I don't think those things are going to help. Neither does the fact that everyone plays every day either.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, game day, Sunday. We're going to get our first real look at the Seahawks against the Niners. They have been remarkably healthy throughout all of this camp, and they look mostly there heading into the game on Sunday, although the most recent injury report did add guard Anthony Bradford with a back issue. Appears to be a new injury for the player that clearly won that job in camp, so that's maybe a bit of a concern. Positive sign, it does look like Torrey Horton is going to be healthy enough to play. As for the Niners, they had a surprise addition of their own. Christian McCaffrey limited with a calf injury on Thursday, something Niners fans don't want. I'm sure fantasy football fans are nervous about that one. Let's see. I do have some sound from Grant Cohn, Niners blogger extraordinaire.
You've got to be kidding me. 3 days before the Niners start their season, Christian McCaffrey pops up on their injury report with a calf injury. And when they say calf, the 49ers, we know they usually mean Achilles.
All right. Okay. I'm just going to cut that one off there. Tone it down there, Grant. We'll see where this goes. I'm going to just assume that Christian McCaffrey will be fine and that he'll be playing in this game. And it'll be good to have this in front of the Seahawks fans, whichever of them end up making it to the game instead of Niners fans. Sam Darnold, excited for that opportunity.
Just the opportunity that I get to be able to play in front of these fans, finally as our fans. I feel like I've been coming here the last few years, and it's nice to have them on my side now, and it's incredible. I know the energy that the 12s are going to bring out there on the field, and we're really looking forward to playing in front of those fans. And but I don't put much pressure on myself. To answer your question, I think at the end of the day, I prepare so much throughout the week to just go out there and let it rip, have fun, be loose, and be myself.
Good news yesterday. Abe Lucas is going to start, obviously, and do so with a smile in this game after receiving a nice new contract extension yesterday. He gets essentially 3 years, $46 million to stay in Seattle. Couldn't be happier about it. Here he was yesterday.
First, I want to thank the organization, obviously, for their belief and their faith in me, and Coach McDonald and Coach Benton and Patty and John and Joey Lane for really putting something together for me. In my mind, it's a reflection of how much they believe in me, and I love this team. I love this organization. It's literally my dream coming true, the dream that I had since the time I was, 3 years old, 4 years old, watching football with my dad, and so I'm just so stoked about it, and it means everything to me. I'm gonna keep being the same guy, keep putting my head down and working, and same stone face, no emotion type of guy. But I'm so excited about it. I'm just really happy that something was able to get done.
I like the mix between, or the juxtaposition there between him saying he would be stone-faced, but also happy, but while being stone-faced. It's pretty great and good for him.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call themselves stone.
Yeah, I'm just going to be stoic. Don't worry about it. Just not going to change my expression at all.
That's something someone else says about me.
Really odd, but hey, good for him. He deserves it. Glad to have him around here for the next few years.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
What a way to start the NFL season. Great football game yesterday in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, both excellent. Couple of late drops from CeeDee Lamb. May have been the difference, though, as the Eagles take the first game of the year. Anytime they needed him, Jalen Hurts stepped up. It was 2 touchdowns he ran for early, and the big first down he ran for late.
Hurts looking to take off. Hurts has the first down.
This was a missed chance from stars and playmakers that ordinarily make those plays.
And on opening night, Philly and Dallas delivers. And the champs get win one.
Yeah, it's well said by Mike Tirico. That game did deliver, and it got off to an odd start with Spitgate. Jalen Carter ejected after spitting on Dak Prescott, who had spit in his direction just a moment earlier. Here's what Carter said afterwards.
It was intense for me. I wanted to be out there with the guys so bad, and just to support and help, even just standing on the sideline. But things went how it went. We just got to move on. I made a promise to them boys it won't happen again.
Was he in a fit of rage at the time?
Jalen, when it happened, were you like in a fit of rage, or what was your? No, I was calm. I walked off the field calmly. I was not mad. That's pretty much. I couldn't really do nothing else. The rough decision is the rough decision.
All right, handle it reasonably well, I guess. Afterwards, that's everything you need to know.
Dak clarified that. Carter was kind of up near their huddle, and he said he was getting after one of their rookie offensive linemen. So Dak was trying to, just because people keep saying he started it, he was trying to tell Jalen Carter, like, hey, the look he was giving him was like, hey, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you taunting our rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Go away.
Yeah. Except that then he spit, and that sort of, got the other guy to spit. And
guys spit all the time.
He spit at him. Come on. He spit right at his feet. That's
didn't touch
different.
him, though.
Yeah, he spit
To
it.
me,
Spitting at someone's foot, to me, absolutely qualifies as a
a
disrespectful
lot different than
gesture.
hawking a loogie and landing it on someone.
It's not that different to me. I don't know. I honestly don't think it's that different. You spit at somebody's feet, you're essentially showing them a level
you don't belong
of disrespect.
here. We're trying to have a huddle. Go away.
I don't think you can spit at someone's feet.
I think I'm with Maura on this.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. If somebody spits at my feet, I would absolutely take that as a pretty good sign of disrespect. I don't think you can do that. Again, it's not as bad as spitting on someone. That's pretty bad. But you can't spit at someone's feet either. So I get why he was mad. Anyway, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back here. Greg Olsen's going to do the game on Sunday. He's going to help get us ready for it. What is he looking for? What does he think of the Seahawks offense? What does the old tight end make of all of the Seahawks tight ends? It's next on Brock and Salk.
Touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Wow, it's so good to finally be back home.
Is it me, or is it musty?
Oh, damp. Check the bathroom.
Damp!
The basement?
Damp! Wait!
Yeah?
I'm ordering damp bread!
So we don't have to move?
Eliminate damp, musty smells by trapping excess moisture. Get rid of the damp with Damp Rid.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Are you ready to unleash the beast?
Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2025 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 26th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 26th at woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Rick Riz here with a big thank you to everyone who submitted a nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program.
Thanks, Rick. This is Elisa with Pella Windows and Doors. With so many amazing entries, we decided to award 2 additional teams with $2,500 prizes. We are thrilled to announce Team Wilder Basketball and Linwood High School Football.
Thanks to you and Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Trying to lose weight? It's time to try Hers. At 4hers.com/radio, you can access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you. These include oral medication kits and compounded GLP-1 injections, the same active ingredient that's in Ozempic and Wegovy. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits starts at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help from Hers. Get started at 4hers.com/radio to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's 4hers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
Seattle, your waterfront park is here. Celebrate the opening of 20 acres of world-class public space on the downtown shoreline at the grand opening celebration September 6th. Enjoy free live performances, family activities, cultural experiences, and more across the entire park, from Overlook Walk to Pier 62. Join Friends of Waterfront Park in the city of Seattle for this once-in-a-generation event. Be part of history. Plan your visit at waterfrontparkseattle.org. Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we're getting ready for Seahawks and Niners on Sunday. Greg Olsen will be on the call for Fox TV, and he's kind enough to join us right now. Greg, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks, guys. Good to be on.
How do you prep for game number 1, Greg? Do you look at this preseason tape? Do you go back to the 2 matchups last year between the Niners and Seahawks? What is your methodology to get ready for number 1?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think week 1 is always, very similar to when you're a player, very similar to what these coaches and players are going through. It's kind of a mix of everything, right? You go back and you look at, what did the teams do well last year? Where were some of their sticking points at different parts of the season? Where was the evolution? Where was the growth? And you have to say, okay, that the areas in which they saw big progress last year, let's continue to focus that you have to imagine they're going to try to carry that into this season, right? So with Seattle, it's all right, the growth of the defense, kind of post that Ernest Jones trade, the defense started to look a little bit more like what you're used to seeing out of Mike Macdonald and the way he wanted to bring that style of defense from Baltimore that it didn't look that way earlier in the year, and it much more so looked like that at the end of the year, right? So you start there. You look at the preseason, you say, okay, who are the new faces, the draft picks, the new additions. Preseason nowadays is very complicated because both from a schematic standpoint and a personnel standpoint, it's not going to look a whole lot like what we're going to see on Sunday of week 1. So I think it's personnel. I think it's track record. You study Clint Kubiak and you say, okay, what led Kubiak in New Orleans last year to take the league by storm? Through the first 2 weeks, they scored on their first 15 offensive possessions. Then what changed in New Orleans, and what can you expect to be the carryover? So you really go personnel. You say, trends from last year to this year. So it's really a mixed bag, and it's a difficult task for everybody.
So who will you focus on from a Seahawks perspective?
Well, I think the easiest person in that whole conversation, of course, is Sam Darnold, right? I think Sam, the free agent, signing this year. We all saw the year he had last year with Kevin O'Connell out in Minnesota. I thought it was a really good hire by Macdonald to bring in Kubiak. It's a style in which I think we've seen Sam play well, a little bit more under center, more play action, less of the drop back stuff that we saw in the passing game last year with Geno and the Seahawks offense last year. So I think it all starts and stops with Sam offensively. Jackson Smith and Jigba, can he ascend to that number one role without DK and Tyler Lockett? So offensively, I think there's a lot of new faces that are going to garner the vast majority of the storylines. And frankly, if I'm a Seahawks fan, that's where the bulk of my interest is earlier in the year, because I think defensively, I think this Seahawks defense, if they can stay healthy, I think this Seahawks defense has the chance to be a top 5, top 7 defense by the end of the season. I think schematically, and then with McDonald, and I think personnel-wise, I think they're really good.
So help me understand the last part, because I tend to agree with you that they're going to be a really good defense, but I was doing a guest spot of my own yesterday in San Francisco, and the host was like, all right, well, why are they going to be so good? And when you start going through the names, there's not a lot of real star players. They don't have a star edge rusher that everybody in the league knows and a sack master. Like, what is it that tells you this defense would be that good?
Well, partially, I think because of the improvement we saw last year. So I had them in Week 11. I called that Seahawks 49ers game last year in Week 11. And, just going back and looking at my notes and looking at some of the things that I had prepped, for that game last year, all the questions were, it's not the style of defense that McDonald is used to running. It was a lot more single high safety. They were a lot more susceptible to play action downfield passing. And it was everything opposite of what McDonald's teams were, especially in this time in Baltimore. 2 high safeties, did a great job playing high to low, no real big plays allowed, and really control the game with his front. And I think, obviously I'm not telling you guys something you don't know. The linebacker situation last year, letting Bobby go, kind of moving on there until they really made the change of the 2 off-ball backers, and the big one being with the trade with Ernest Jones coming from Tennessee. It felt like they finally got that second level figured out and then allowed the coverage to fall into place. I think they add DeMarcus Lawrence this year as a good depth piece who, prior to being injured last year, is as good, especially as a run defender, as any defensive lineman we've seen in the last couple of years. I think Boye Mafe is a really good young edge player that can get after the passer. Leonard Williams, a premier interior defensive lineman. Witherspoon's as good of a safety inside and out as there is in the league. I think they've got some experience at safety. So when you start going piece by piece, I think what we're seeing around the league is you don't have to have one star. You can have a lot of really good depth pieces, a lot of really good starting caliber defenders. And with the right coach and a guy like McDonald, who's proven to be a defensive architect at a high level, that is really the recipe for playing consistent ball. You don't need to pin all the hopes of the success of that unit on 1 or 2 guys' shoulders. And I think that's actually a benefit.
The voice will be in the booth with my buddy Joe Davis this Sunday afternoon with the Niners and the Seahawks kicking it all off there at Lumen Field. Did you get a chance, Greg, in your career to see Sam Darnold pre-2024? And I know you guys saw him last year. And if so, did you see a metamorphosis?
Yeah, and listen, I think a lot of the credit has to go to Sam. I think it's easy to sit here and say, he had Justin Jefferson and he had Addison and he had Kevin O'Connell, and all those things are true. But I think you have to give Sam, first and foremost, a lot of the credit for the turnaround. It was not an easy start to his career in New York, and then obviously his time in Carolina didn't go, and kind of found new life and was given an opportunity with O'Connell to kind of start a new chapter of his career, and obviously more than made up for it. I think when you look at and this is what I imagine Kubiak and McDonald are looking at as they kind of put this thing together since they signed Sam, is, okay, let's look at what did Kevin O'Connell do with Sam that made him so successful? And yes, throwing to Justin Jefferson certainly helps, but it was under center. It's play action. It's staying out of drop back passing downs. It's using first and second down in the passing game to try to generate explosives downfield. That's where Sam was at his best. He's a very accurate downfield passer. Stay out of those third downs. Stay out of shotgun drop back pass when the defense can dial up their best pass pressures and their most elaborate coverage disguises. Stay out of that. And that's not, and frankly, that's not unique to Sam. That's the 32 NFL teams every weekend, 27, 28 of them are probably playing with that set of rules. There's a handful of guys in the league that can stand back and shotgun and operate in a passing situation for the bulk of the game. That there's very few of those guys, and everyone else you can see around the league is kind of trying to play by the same formula. So I think Kubiak's job, which is very much what his pedigree is from his time with Shanahan and obviously all the way back to his time with his father, is more downhill run game, more under center run game. Get Kenneth Walker going north and south, not so much side to side with all the negative runs and the negative losses they took last year. Get him under center, downhill run game, early down play action, throw the ball downfield, and really stress the secondary before you get to third and passing downs. And I think that's the strength of Sam. I think that's the tendencies of Kubiak as a play caller. So it does make a lot of sense why they've tried to marry the two of them together this offseason.
What do you make of a roster that has 5 tight ends, a fullback, and 3 wide receivers that may have made the team because of their blocking?
Well, the 5 tight ends part I love. So I would say Schneid's is doing a great job in the talent acquisition of tight ends. But listen, if anyone who's watched Kubiak's teams, anyone who watched his father, anyone who understands the tree he comes from, and then obviously just as recently as what he did last year in New Orleans, they're going to introduce 2-back sets. They're going to be in I formation. They're going to be in 2 tight end, 2-back. Like, that is a big staple of this style of system. And, you think back to his time at San Francisco and even before that with Shanahan and Houston, it's very tried and true what they want to be. Now, do they have Juszczyk? Do they have a guy like Kittle and a Juszczyk who really can be those hybrid, you're in 21 personnel with 2 backs, but then you're in 12, then you're in 11 formations and you don't really have to sub? I don't know how many teams have those types of personnel guys, but from a philosophical standpoint, they're going to be an I formation. They're going to run the ball downhill on early downs. Everything they're doing is to win early downs so that they can be in 50-50 neutral. I could pass, I could run. I don't have to be in 11 personnel, and I don't have to drop back out of the shotgun and throw the ball downfield on every third down. That's Kubiak. I think that's what McDonald wants to be the complement to the way he's building this defense. And frankly, that's Sam Darnold. That's when Sam's at his best. So I think they're smart. The personnel has to match. The roster has to match the style of play, and both sides of the ball have to match the style of the other. And I think this version of Seattle is a lot closer than when I had them earlier in the year last year before they kind of started putting it together down the stretch.
And Greg, I think when you go back to your time playing, I think those years you've covered the Seahawks from the booth, I think there's been kind of one constant. Certainly in sports media, it's been a constant. That has been the struggle of the group on the offensive line, whether that was some veteran guys, whether that was money spent, whether that was the lack of development, whatever it was, it just has not been effective really for the last decade. Game 2 of this preseason, 48 carries, 268 yards, moving people like we've not seen moved in any preseason game, nor regular season game really for the Seahawks. When you look at the personnel now on this offensive line with a healthy Abe Lucas, Gray Zabel at left guard, Sundell at center, do you think this could be actually a strength rather than just a continual weakness?
I do, and I think obviously and you just said it. I think a big issue they've had, especially at the tackle positions, where there's no question that Charles Cross can play. There's no question that Lucas can play. Like, it's really been a matter of how consistently are they in the lineup together and that unit operating as a five cohesive every week, same combination in the same system, and really getting a feel for what they're being asked to do. So I think there's just the baseline health that every team is fighting, especially at the offensive line nowadays, where it's hard to field 5 competent offensive linemen, let alone have the depth to get into 7, 8, 9, so on and so forth. And we see that narrative play out all across the league. I think the rookie, Zabel at center out of North Dakota State, I think he's a really good young player. I think they have high hopes of him, obviously taking him where they did in the draft. They think that he can be a staple there, kind of solidifying them for the long haul. But I think the second element to it all is they got to get some consistency in what they're being asked to do schematically. I think what they were asked to do last year was when it was 2/3 pass. It was a lot of shotgun. Obviously that was Geno's specialty, was throwing the ball. Like, that is a very big stressor on a healthy, good offensive line, let alone one that's dealing with some moving parts. So I think getting under center, I think being able to get more of an early play action game and run game, use those two backs. I think all of that, everyone talks about what that will do for Sam Darnold and the quarterback, but it's really just as much, if not a bigger impact on the offensive line. There are very few offensive lines in the league that can be in shotgun drop back pass for 2/3 of the game. It's very difficult in today's modern NFL with the way these guys can pass rush and disguise coverages and blitzes. So I think schematically they will be helped a lot by what Kubi asks them to do in the passing game. And then I think, of course, the nature, can they stay healthy? Can they keep the two tackles on the field together? If they can accomplish those two things, I don't think there's any reason why the expectation shouldn't be that that unit is significantly improved.
Last two really quick ones here, Greg. Is it true that Arroyo is going to be so critical in finally tipping the scales back to Miami being tight end you and not Iowa?
Well, it's a great question. I don't think there's any question. Listen, I love my Iowa guys. Kittle's a buddy. I mean, they've got some real dudes that have come out of there. You'll never be able to convince me ever that Miami is not always and will not always be tight end you. So I hope he plays awesome. I think he's a really talented player. I hope they find a way to get him involved early in the year, break off some of that rookie rust and break off some of that apprehension that all young players have entering the league. But I would love nothing more than another Miami tight end to kind of sit at the top of the rankings across the league like we were for so long, all the way back to Bubba and Shockey and Winslow and all the way down the line, Jimmy Graham. So I would love nothing more for him to be that guy. But I have this argument with my Iowa and my Notre Dame guys all the time. There's one TEU, it's Miami, and everyone else produces some really great players, don't get me wrong. But the run we had of not only great college players, but then great NFL players is pretty, in my opinion, unmatched.
What is the tight end general consensus these days on Travis Kelce? Is there jealousy over the Taylor engagement, or is it more of a, hey, he's really bringing up the national
aura, Salk,
yeah,
the aura.
The entire aura of the tight end and the way people view tight ends?
Yeah, there's no question our aura, as my kids like to tell me I have none of. There's no question the aura of the tight end position has greatly elevated over the last couple of years for a lot of reasons. Obviously on the field, off the field, I don't know if anyone at any position is matching the run Travis is on. It's a pretty impressive series of events here. But I think all seriousness, like anyone that knows Travis, anyone that's been around him, like there's no jealousy. The amount of respect he has for what he's done in his career, the way he handles himself off the field, the way he treats people. We spend every week, we spend a week together every summer out in Nashville for TEU, and him and Taylor are both there, and they couldn't have been more warm. They couldn't have been more, part of the group and just wanted to hang and get to know people and like genuinely be interested in meeting all of our families and kids. So like all of that is who Travis has been since I met him 15 years ago. And none of that has changed in this new kind of world he's living in. I think that's just a testament to who he is and the type of guy he is. And I think all the tight ends love elevating the platform of the tight end position. Is high tide raises all ships, and I think we're seeing that happen right now in a lot of ways.
Wow. Salky, I had a chance to go to TEU this year. Wow, I could have had a chance to see Travis.
You could have seen Taylor, Rob. Maybe you would have found out that she's still popular, despite your suggestion that her popularity was waning a few months ago. Turns out she's still kind of a big deal.
Since I turned down the invitation, or I asked, since I turned that down, Greg, because of my daughter's wedding, is there still any shot that I can sneak in the back door next year, next summer? Possible?
Yeah, no, yeah. That invite stands. We got some big things we're not quite ready to announce. We got some big new plans for TEU, so that event is going forward. It should be super exciting, and I think when you hear what we got brewing, you'll be pumped. So yes, that invite still stands. Wow. How's everything going in the coaching world?
Solid, Greg. Solid
Wait, you're
start.
Coaching? How come you never bring it up?
Why don't you watch your mouth? We got this little buzzer that they love to play every time I bring up.
That's so weird. I didn't realize you'd even taken a job as a coach.
Yeah, thanks,
really?
Yeah.
How come you really should mention that at some point?
It's the only thing I really care about. Tell me, it's my whole life. I got my second middle school game, so I coach
Yeah.
I coach my kids' middle school game. They can buzz us all they want, Brock. I don't care. It's like the center of my life. Like I always joke with my NFL crew. I'm like, I'll be prepared for our game this weekend, but nothing gets in the way of my middle school prep. You know what I mean? Like, it's so fun working with the kids. How's it going?
It's just unbelievably fun. I'll text you a clip, and probably the proudest dad moment I've had yet.
He hasn't seen it yet? The 2 million plus people that have seen Brock's son destroy some poor safety?
You're going to look at it, and you're going to say, have him stop playing quarterback and transition to tight end.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. I'll shoot it your way here in just a second. He is a hair under 6'6" and about 200, 205. Yeah.
And what grade is he in?
He's a sophomore. He is a sophomore.
He's a 6'6" sophomore?
Yeah. He's about done, though. I think height-wise, hopefully he's about done. But you're going to see this.
You don't want to be much bigger than that. But
yeah, you're going to
there's a lot of money to be made if he just moves. He moves a couple spots to the right or left. So you can make a lot of money at 6'6".
Yeah. I think you're going to see tight end in this little video. I'll send you here.
All right, we got to run. Greg, thank you, and we'll watch on Sunday. And appreciate you coming by.
Thank you, Greg.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Well, his shock level at hearing Titus's size is pretty funny. So game is on Sunday. He'll be doing the game. Of course, we'll have it here on Seattle Sports. There is a bit of a challenge on Sunday, right? It's the Mariners-Braves series finale is Sunday as well. So you can catch Mariners-Braves on the Seattle Sports app or on 770 AM. First pitch, 9:05 a.m. So breakfast with the Mariners, and then you can kind of roll it into the Seahawks. Seahawks kick off 2025 season against the Niners. That's also on the Seattle Sports app, and it's here on 710 with pregame coverage starting at 10 a.m. As always, download the Seattle Sports app to find both broadcasts. That's kind of the easiest way to do it. If you're getting confused, if you don't want to find 770 on your dial or whatever, just real simple. Just download the Seattle Sports app, and you should be pretty good to go at that point. I should point out today's a Football Friday, which is powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Brady Henderson's in the building. He's going to come hang out. Yeah, I'll try to get Brady's thoughts on Spitgate from yesterday. A lot of people saying, Salk, you've been a Carter lover since day one. You even wanted the Hawks to take him over Spoon. Yeah, I think I've been pretty clear about that. I don't think that's not a big revelation. This is just another thing that shows the Hawks were right, you were wrong, and Carter's a piece of trash. I don't know whether I feel that way. I'm sorry, that doesn't ring true for me. And yeah, I'm biased. I get it. I agree. I'm not hiding my bias here. I like Jalen Carter, and I did want the Seahawks to draft him. 100%. I wanted the best defensive lineman in football, and he might be that. I don't know what to tell you. I think the best defensive lineman in football is more valuable than having a really good nickel corner. That's just me. Maybe you guys disagree. I would rather have arguably the best defensive lineman in football than a nickel cornerback. We can agree to disagree. That to me would be more valuable with a number 5 pick. Now, he's got some risk associated with him, and you got to see it yesterday. There's no doubt. He's not perfect. That is for sure. And I don't like what he did, and I'm not justifying it. But I don't think it shows he's a piece of trash or anything like that. Like, he got caught up in a dumb moment and did something dumb. He didn't, come on. I don't know. That to me was it's not good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying it. But piece of trash? Nah. Come on.
Look, he has a drive to win. I get it. And if you want more context on that, just Google Jalen Carter drive.
Stop it. Come on. What is wrong with you today? Come on. That is a cheap shot.
I don't know.
Is it a cheap shot?
Probably.
All right. Just as long as we're on the same page. Brady Henderson is in the building, and he's going to be with us for the next couple hours. Let's talk mostly about these Seahawks. What are we going to be talking about Monday morning? I'll ask Brady that question next on Brock and Salk.
Touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm fortunate to speak with someone who underwent treatment for prostate cancer in February. Dave Wyman here, joined by Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host. Tim, how did you hear about Swedish Cyberknife?
Well, it was this familiar sounding voice on the radio telling me about it, and so I thought I'd investigate that. Everything I heard was what I wanted to hear, and so I reached out.
What's it like to go through the Cyberknife treatment?
Well, you go in, you do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital, and it's, they say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It's just a matter of listening to music in headphones and trying your best not to move.
Looking back on your Swedish Cyberknife experience, what stood out?
It was too easy. It was just too easy. I went through it, and I just went, that's it?
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, we can't keep an eye on everything. Unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get him freaking out! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke Heward. And Brooke Heward.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Oh, yeah, it's football season for sure. It's a football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Seahawks play Sunday. The NFL is underway. And that means Brady Henderson's in for the next couple hours. G. Scott will stop by, of course, at 8:30. We'll have phone lines at 9:30. And the number one most intriguing Seahawk this morning at 9 o'clock. It really shouldn't be too big a mystery to anybody. Good morning, Brady. Happy football season to you.
Well, good morning, Mike. I see you're wearing your golf clothes. Are you just doing that just to rub it in my face?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah?
Maybe a little bit.
Nice
Although you don't look that. I mean, I know you're not playing golf, but I mean, mostly what you own is golf clothing. So
yeah.
I don't know. You don't look that different. I will say that. And you guys can watch on YouTube and see how Brady looks in his sort of golf getup. Hey, man.
Hi.
It's Seahawks season. Like, let's go. It's funny. I was saying, like, I didn't really feel like it was football season until last night. And then, like, that game got me. Like, I was pretty invested right away in a very good football game last night. And it got me like, okay, I'm ready for Sunday. Let's go. Bring on the NFL.
Yeah, that was an eventful game, certainly in the first half, and not really in the best ways possible, but also in just pure football sense. It was a good first half. I thought it was a little anticlimactic with only 3 points being scored over the final 30 minutes, but it was a close game and certainly a very heated game. And yeah, as far as the Seahawks are concerned, like I'm really excited to cover this team. I can't tell you exactly how good they're going to be. I don't think this is a team I still think this team might be a year away, maybe a playmaker or two away from truly being like a contending team, but I think they're going to be right there at the end of the regular season, fighting for a playoff spot, fighting for a division title, and it's just a fascinating team with a lot of interesting things to talk about.
So how come? I'm curious about that, and then I got some questions for you throughout the morning. I was saying yesterday, somewhere between 7 and 10 wins, which is admittedly a very wide range. That's a somewhat vague prediction, but it's hard for me to imagine them losing, more than 10 games on the season. It's kind of hard for me to imagine them winning more than 10 games on the season, although it's easier than it is for me to imagine them losing more than 10. Why do you say they're an interesting team to cover? You're excited about it, even if you don't think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Well, I mean, they've got a new quarterback, and some of just the longtime players on this team that I'm just kind of viewing this from a reporter standpoint. I probably wrote every story there was to write on DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Geno Smith. So I just mean from the standpoint of someone who covers the team.
It's just new.
Yeah, there's new players and new
storylines.
And new things to really dive into, including the quarterback and the coordinator and a bunch of new starters on offense.
So what are you going to be writing about on Monday morning?
I think on Monday morning, what I'm going to be writing about, and maybe what you guys are going to be talking about, a few things are, one, how good could this offensive line be?
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that this is, as a whole, this is a tough matchup. I think this could be a favorable matchup for them up front. Obviously there's Nick Bosa, who's one of the best edge players in the NFL, but I think that they could have something of an edge up front, and especially when you add in the scheme that they're running and how O-line friendly that is supposed to be in theory. And I think you're going to be asking, gosh, why didn't they hire Glenn Kubiak earlier? Why didn't they? Obviously, he wasn't available, when they were hiring. But, why haven't they gone to this kind of rushing scheme that really is supposed to, everything we've heard and I think what we've maybe seen in very limited spurts is this is a scheme, a running game, and really a passing game that I think is going to make life easier on the offensive line. And I think it'll really take more than one game to truly notice that, but I think you could start to see it in this first game.
Well, yeah, and that was on my list. I was sort of thinking through my question, how I would answer it if I were in your shoes. And the first three things that jump to mind were Sam Darnold. We're going to be talking about Sam Darnold one way or another on Sunday or on Monday. He is the quarterback, and he'll be playing his first game as a Seahawk. We're going to be talking about the offensive line because they've been in the microscope all offseason. And then we'll probably be talking about the defense in general, which is supposed to really be the heartbeat of this team. But on the offensive line, I mean, I'm with you on the Kubiak thing. I got to tell you, man, it's now been, 3 weeks since that second preseason game? Brady, I don't know what's wrong with me. I was more affected by that preseason game than probably any preseason game I've watched since Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you fell in love, didn't you?
I kind of did. I fell in love a little bit with Clint Kubiak, and that's not like me, A, during, a preseason game, and B, with an offensive coordinator, but is that real? Like, is what we saw what we're going to see, or was that, just a game plan for that day? Because if they run the ball that much and that well, this team's going to be really good.
Yeah, stylistically, what you saw there was what you're going to see. I mean, that was one preseason, not just one game. It was one drive, and that was, I think, the only drive that the starters played. But I will say that, that was not just a one-off. That was something of a reflection of what I've been seeing in practice, the last few weeks. So I agree with you. I wouldn't say I'm in love with. Well,
you shouldn't. You're a reporter. You're a little bit more objective.
But I can say that I am more confident in this offense based on what I saw over the last 3-4 weeks than I was going into training camp, and even for the first week or two of training camp. I don't know what exactly it was. Maybe it was just time on task and all those new pieces kind of gelling together. But it seems like they kind of turned a corner a couple weeks into camp, and what you saw in that preseason game was kind of reflective of what you've seen in spurts in practice. And I'll give you a quick story. There was one day in practice, it was probably right around that second preseason game. They're in a red zone drill. I believe it's 7-on-7, and the offense is just picking apart Mike McDonald's defense. And it's not just Sam Darnold, it's the number 2 offense with Drew Lock. And the any head coach is going to love seeing that, right? He's going to love seeing his offense do that. But in that moment, Mike McDonald was not the head coach. He was wearing his defensive coordinator hat. And it got to a point where he said, "We are officially getting shredded." And he said that in this annoyed, almost in awe way. And it was true. It was just one touchdown after the other. And this is, again, against, mind you, what was a top 10 defense last season that returned basically every key piece, running the same scheme with the same coaching staff, mostly the same players. So this should be a good defense. And, I'm not going to tell you that the offense was doing that every day in practice, but I do feel like a couple weeks into camp, the offense did start to really catch up to the defense.
Well, I mean, that's huge news, and we'll be talking about it one way or another. I mean, if they fall back to earth, we'll be talking about how that looked like a bit of an aberration maybe in that preseason game. And if they go out and continue it, we'll be, I don't know, probably starting to plan Super Bowl parades for what this team is going to do. We know week 1 is a bit of a misnomer. What do you think we'll be talking about at the end of the year? And that was my other kind of thought process. Okay, you're right. Monday, Darnold for sure, offensive line for sure, defense. What are we going to be talking about when this season ends? Where do you think our conversations will go?
I think, and like I always say, whenever I make a prediction, you can cut this clip and just have the email ready for old takes.
Well, no one says this is a predict. I mean, it's like a. What do you think?
I just know that this could end up looking really silly in 4 months from now. But I think you're going to be talking about, okay, the Seahawks finally have an offensive coordinator that you feel really good about. And you feel like you've got the guy there who's not Shane Waldron, who's not Ryan Grubb. There's alignment between the head coach and the coordinator, which you certainly did not have last season. That became very clear.
Yep.
And it didn't take very long for that to become clear. And I think you're going to be talking about a team that feels like it is on the cusp. And I just don't think this team is ready to truly compete for a championship right now or make a deep run in the playoffs. I think they can make the playoffs. I think you're going to be talking about, maybe some of what you felt, remember after that 2012, season where they lost in the divisional round to Atlanta. And as disappointing as that was, you could really tell this team was on the verge.
I really hope you're right about that. And it's funny, I wrote that down as one of the things that I feel like we'll be talking about at the end of the year. I think it's sort of one of three scenarios. Maybe I'm hedging so that I'm not on Old Takes Exposed, but three scenarios. One, we're talking about how they're ready to contend. How at the end of that, like, okay, they built something and they're ready to contend, and next year's going to be the year where you start having championship aspirations. Two, it doesn't go as well as anybody thinks, and we're going to be having a big conversation about who the long-term option is at quarterback and who they're going to be drafting with this great quarterback draft, and they're somewhere in the top 10 or 12, or they're going to trade up, and like it's time to go get a quarterback and really sort of change the way this works. But there's that in-between, which is like they're good. They win 9 games again, 10 games, whatever it is, but you look at it and say, they're still a quarterback away. And I don't know what you do in that scenario. That's the one sort of in some ways, that's the worst case scenario where you're like, they're good, but Sam Darnold isn't the guy, and you finished, just in the playoffs or something, and you're not really in line for one of the top quarterbacks. I don't know what that scenario looks like for them.
I think in that scenario, you're maybe talking more about okay, let's say it's not so bad with Sam Darnold that you decide it's worth it to give it another year as opposed to eating a pretty healthy amount of dead money and trying to go into the quarterback unknown. I think you're talking about, okay, how do you support Sam Darnold? And remember what the conversation was after that 2012 season. It was, this team it feels like it's on the cusp, but what did they need that year? Remember Pete Carroll, I think, said on your show, he said they need pass rushers.
Right.
And went and got 2 pass rushers that ended up really putting that defense over the top. And I think if in that scenario that you're talking about, and maybe even if Sam Darnold has a really good season, I think you're going to be talking about, okay, this offense showed some really good things, but I think they're a playmaker away.
All right, it's a big day. Talking Seahawks all morning long with Brady Henderson. We'll be doing this for the next couple hours. I got lots more questions for him. At some point, G. Scott will come in and bother us and change the whole tenor of the conversation, as he tends to do on a Friday morning. We'll come right back, though, give you guys everything you need to know next on Brock and Salk.
Get inside the huddle.
The handoff inside. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Taking you inside the VMAC every week. Thursdays, noon to 2.
Our guys show up to play.
Player interviews.
It's obviously been paying off. Just going to continue to do that.
Previewing this week's matchup.
We'll say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats.
And everything Seahawks.
If anybody had a doubt, don't.
The Huddle. Every Thursday at noon. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Upgrade your home's comfort, style, and energy efficiency before winter during Lake Washington Windows Autumn Savings Event. Save $500 on every window, $1,000 on every door, plus enjoy 0 payments and 0 interest for 12 months. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Seattle, your waterfront park is here. Celebrate the opening of 20 acres of world-class public space on the downtown shoreline at the grand opening celebration September 6th. Be part of history. Plan your visit at waterfrontparkseattle.org.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Trying to lose weight? It's time to try Hers. At 4hers.com/radio, you can access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you. These include oral medication kits and compounded GLP-1 injections, the same active ingredient that's in Ozempic and Wegovy. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits starts at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help from Hers. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/radio. forhers.com/radio.
Crawl space and attics are not places you want to spend much time, but many homes in our area can have serious issues behind the hatches. Hi, it's the owner of Crawl Pros, Richard Herron. For years, you've heard us talking about how we go where you don't want to. With our free corner-to-corner inspection to keep your crawl space and attic well insulated and free of mold and water. You've also heard about the pest control division of our company to keep your home bug and critter free. I'm excited to tell you about our newest division, Plumber Pros. Plumber Pros takes the same customer-first approach to plumbing that we do with our crawl space, attic, and pest control work. We've hand-picked skilled plumbers that I know you'll feel comfortable inviting into your home. So next time you run into plumbing issues, from leaky faucets and clogged drains to full home repipes and sub pump installations, call Crawl Pros and we'll get our plumbing division, Plumber Pros, out to get it resolved. For anything related to your crawl space, attic, pest control, or plumbing, call Crawl Pros or visit us at crawlpros.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafee from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, big series doesn't really begin to cut it. This is a huge series for the Mariners in Atlanta. After dropping 5 of their first 6 games of this road trip, they just have to put themselves, in a different spot. They're in a bind right now. Something's got to change. It's got to change very quickly. The secret for me, pretty simple. Pitch better. Pitch better on the road. Give yourself an opportunity to win these games because you're not going to score a ton of runs in all likelihood against this Atlanta pitching staff. So you got to pitch well. You got to capitalize on whatever opportunities do come your way offensively. They're in a spot, and they're going to have to play with a little bit more urgency. The problem with playing with urgency is in baseball, you don't want to play tight and you don't want to press. Cal Raleigh from the Cal Raleigh show yesterday explains that balance.
Yeah, I mean, everyone understands the situation we're in, and, we've been in this spot before. So, our job is, taking one day at a time, taking one pitch at a time, try to win the little battles, try to win the little things, like stuff like that, and not worry about, trying to win 23 in a row or trying to win every single game for the rest of the year. It's, win that night and, trust the process and get back to what we do well, and, the rest will take care of itself. And, like I said, it's one pitch at a time, and just got to slow it down a little bit.
All right, so that's the plan moving forward. 3 very good pitching matchups in the series. Logan Gilbert and Chris Sale tonight. Bryce Miller and Hurston Waldrop tomorrow. And then Luis Castillo, talk about somebody who's got to get it turned back around. He throws against Spencer Strider on Sunday morning. No rest day. They fly straight back, take on St. Louis on Monday at home. Small roster move yesterday. Recently claimed lefty Jose Castillo reports to the club. He replaces Taylor Cicero on the roster. Rays win, Royals win, Astros lose. So 3.5 back in the division. Game and a half up on Texas, 2 up on Kansas City and Tampa.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, game day rolls today. Well, not quite today, on Sunday anyway. Seahawks get it going. Our first real look at them against the Niners. They've been really healthy. Most recent injury report did add Anthony Bradford on there with a back issue. Concerning?
Yeah, I mean, in the absence of more information, yeah, I mean, that, yes, I would say right now, yes, at least it's got to be at least somewhat concerning. Now, it's always tough when a guy shows up on the injury report Thursday, because by that point, we've already talked to the coach on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. We don't talk to him again on Friday. So there's that gap to where we don't really know anything beyond what shows up on the injury report. But I would say, yeah, you've got to consider that concerning. I think it's good news that Torrey Horton has practiced both days this week as a full participant, so he certainly seems to be on track. Tyrese Knight not on the injury report at all, so he would appear to also be on track.
And we heard if Bradford can't go, Sundell bumps over to guard and Olu slides into center.
Yeah, that was the plan that McDonald said. That he said that would probably be the plan if it happened in a game where one of the guards went down, to where instead of putting one of their backup guards in there, because right now you're talking about either Josh Jones, their swing tackle, or one of the rookies.
Yeah,
they would put in Sundell. They would move Sundell over to guard and put Olu at center.
49ers, a little surprise addition of their own to the injury list. Christian McCaffrey limited with a calf injury yesterday, so that got a little freak out factor going on. Here's a noted blogger, Grant Cohn.
You've got to be kidding me. 3 days before the Niners start their season, Christian McCaffrey pops up on their injury report with a calf injury. And when they say calf, the 49ers, we know they usually mean Achilles.
Every time you play Lyle, this is like his favorite. He laughs so hard.
Well, he sort of talks like Lyle. I mean, like, there's a similarity to how Lyle talks on the Marine Layer and how Grant Cohn talks there. I hear some similarity, Lyle. Is that who you've modeled yourself after?
No, I just love his bit. It's unreal. He'll walk around the tunnels of Levi's Stadium after every loss, just ripping
Brady, maybe this is a future gig for you. If things don't go well at ESPN, you can just walk around the bowels of Lumen Field talking trash about how the Seahawks lie about injuries.
No, I've never really viewed my job as being a gadfly
no,
like that.
That's too bad.
I'm more of a reporter.
All right.
So I'll stick to what I do.
Well, tell us what you learned on Abe Lucas. He gets 3 years, $46 million or so to stay in Seattle. Said yesterday he was happy. I mean, he didn't sound happy, but he said he was happy. So what do we make of Abe?
Yeah, Abe Lucas, normally very stoic. He did crack a few smiles. I can confirm that during his press conference. And
he
why
referred to himself as stone-faced.
Yeah, and deadpan, which
that's hilarious.
You love the self-awareness, yeah. And so it's a 3-year, $46 million extension, and based on my understanding of it, is that's not inflated by incentives. It sounds like there are incentives that could push the deal to be worth more than $46 million, but the base value is 3 years, $46 million. So that's $15.33 million per year. Puts him, I think, 13th among right tackles. So this is very
Feels
clearly
about right.
Yeah, we'll see what the guaranteed money looks like, but just based on that average, this is a clear case of the Seahawks taking some injury risk on in exchange for what would be a very team-friendly average if Abe Lucas stays healthy and plays.
Here's the third.
He's capable of playing. The band just played me
run
off.
over. Lyle's like, you're done.
The band played me off.
It's too long.
Salk was signaling. You confused him.
I was trying to get Lyle's attention to so that when Brady was done, we could
He was still talking to me about Grant Cohn.
I figured that was the case. That's why I was trying to get his attention. I got my attention last night. The NFL did, man. It earned my attention. That was a really good football game. I just liked the whole game last night.
You love seeing your guy Jalen Carter, Hockaloogie.
I didn't love that. No, I didn't, but Dak did spit at him first.
Spit towards him.
Yeah, he spit towards him. Kind of
Lyle
spit
and
at
I
his
are
feet.
with you. I think it's different to spit in someone's direction.
It is different. I'm not saying it's not different, but he did spit at his feet. Like, that is still an insult. That is still something,
Yeah,
and he responded. He overreacted and did something dumb.
He revved up Jalen Carter's engine. I get it.
All right. That's enough. Here's Jalen Carter on being ejected.
It was intense for me. I wanted to be out there with the guys so bad, and just to support and help, even just standing on the sideline. But things went how it went. We just got to move on. I made a promise to them boys it won't happen again.
Are we going to talk about Jalen Carter?
Do you want to?
Yeah, I would love to.
We could do that.
Yeah. I mean, look, he didn't spit in his face, but he spit at him, and you got to know, with the official right there,
so dumb.
With all of the emphasis on taunting and all that, kind of stuff, you got to know that you're not going to get away with that.
No.
And, I mean, it's and Mike Sando made this point. It's a nationally televised game. There's cameras everywhere. You are not going to get was with that.
No. It was really dumb. It was really dumb.
Yeah.
And they won anyway. You know who's really good? Jalen Hurts. I love me some Jalen Hurts. I like Dak Prescott too, and I thought both those guys played really well, but I'm just an unabashed Jalen Hurts fan. I love the guy. I thought he played great football yesterday, did everything well. We were talking about it earlier off the air. I think he is, if I'm going through quarterbacks in the league, 5 or 6 for me.
Yeah, I think one thing I like about him is his mentality, and he seems like if there's any quarterback who is built to do it again, it's a guy like that who seems so incredibly grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And I think someone mentioned that he sought out Michael Jordan's advice on how do you go and do it again? How do you repeat? He just doesn't seem like a guy who's going to get full of himself and take his foot off the gas because he won a championship. He seems like a guy who's going to be locked in, trying to find out every way to do it again.
All right, there you go. That is everything you need to know. Let's see, Chiefs and Chargers tonight from Brazil, and then for the NFC West, Arizona is at New Orleans Sunday. Rams host the Texans, and then the Sunday night matchup's great. Baltimore and Buffalo get to see 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game. All right, it's Football Friday. Those are powered by Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You want to talk Jalen Carter? We can do a little of that, and then I got a whole lot more Seahawks-related questions for you, Brady, including just what's going to be the same, what's going to be different, how will this year differ from what we've seen in the past? We got a lot to talk about with Brady Henderson. Don't go anywhere. It's Brock and Salk, Sales Sports on 710.
Touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor Installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
And now, tales of another way. How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins September 29th. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2025 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 26th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 26th at woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners.
Lift off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, baseball fans, T-Mobile is turning up the excitement with the Grand Slam giveaway. Want to score 4 premium tickets to an upcoming professional baseball game? This is your shot to experience the action like a VIP. Stop by your nearest T-Mobile Experience store and enter for your chance to win. While you're there, check out all the amazing deals and perks waiting for you with T-Mobile, your hometown network. Don't strike out. The Grand Slam giveaway won't last forever. Visit your local T-Mobile Experience store today for your chance to win 4 premium professional baseball tickets.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Since our start in 1976, the 12s have grown louder. And our dreams have soared higher.
Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champion.
But we're not done. We're ready to stack more wins.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
To show the impact of 12 as one.
Nobody has left this place. It is pandemonium in the stand.
And create moments no one will ever forget. The 50th season starts now. Get your tickets at Seahawks.com.
It's the biggest car giveaway in the Northwest. We're giving away 30 cars in 30 days, September 1st through 30th. Mustang Madness at Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, Tacoma and Fife. Get 1 free entry daily. Earn additional entries just by playing your favorite games. Drawings every day at Tacoma and Fife. It's 30 cars in 30 days in September. Mustang Madness, only at Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, Tacoma and Fife. The entertainment capital of the Northwest, where excitement lives. Visit emeraldqueen.com for details.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, what's going to be the same this year? What's going to be different for these Seahawks? We'll get to that question in just a moment. Yeah, all right, fine. I do like Jalen Carter. I admit, I'm biased. I thought the Seahawks should have drafted him, and I've never really let that go. And I know that annoys some people, and it's not that I don't like Devin Witherspoon. I like Devin Witherspoon. He's a really good player. I don't think I would have drafted a cornerback at the number 5 pick. And when you get up there into that spot, if you're not going to draft a quarterback, I think you need to pick one of the most impactful positions on the field. And defensive line is one of those positions. And, look, the Eagles end up essentially with him, and then the next year, Cooper DeJean? Right?
2 years later.
2 years later.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it that different from Byron Murphy and
you're
Spoon?
right. I'm sorry. You're right.
I feel like he's the Byron Murphy class, right? I mean, you could have done it the opposite way. Anyway, look, I'm not sitting here saying the Seahawks screwed it up. That's a huge, huge exaggeration. But yeah, I like Jalen Carter. I thought that's what they should have done, and I'm probably going to be a little more lenient on him yesterday because I like him. I totally admit it. I'm willing to admit that.
I think that it is easy to say that from our seats here because you aren't the one who has to deal with all of the baggage that comes with Jalen Carter.
Totally true.
And, I mean, you saw some of that. You saw him get ejected a play, what was it, before the second play?
It was before the first play.
Before the first
It was before the first
play
play.
game.
Yeah.
You saw him get ejected, okay? And I've got a feeling, and I got a pretty strong feeling that there are constantly things that they have to deal with behind the scenes, and that is just a constant headache that is not going to go away for as long as he is on that team. And it's going to be the case with whatever team he plays for next until he figures it out. So I think it's easy to say, yeah, this guy is a very impactful player when he's on the field, when he's not getting ejected. You've seen him briefly get benched before. I just think that there are things that, like, you've got to deal with. And I just don't know if, certainly this iteration of the Seahawks, they don't want to deal with him. And Mora made a really good point in there earlier, before I got on the air, that this team, when it came time to make that decision, was not equipped to handle him. And the Eagles were. That's a very veteran-laden defense, or at least it was, with Brandon Graham and all those veterans up front, which you need that support structure. You need guys like that to be able to try to keep him in line. And as we've seen, that is even a challenge. Now, maybe if the Seahawks had this defensive line when they were making that decision a couple years ago.
If you had Jaron Reed and Leonard Williams and a bunch of the veterans that are here now.
They did have Jaron Reed, but they didn't have a whole lot else. They didn't have Leonard Williams. They didn't have Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah, they would have been bringing him in to be a
Lawrence.
savior as opposed to bringing him in to be a complementary piece and eventually rise into it.
Yeah, but you'd be bringing him into a locker room with some established guys that are going to be able to police
But
him.
they had Geno and DK. Don't you think they would have been fine?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Geno and DK were here. They were like established leaders already.
Yeah, but not in that position group, and not. I mean,
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Let me be very clear.
Right, I
I'm
know
being
you are.
sarcastic and kind of a jerk. I don't think either of those guys would have been a good influence on Jalen Carter at all. A couple of other hotheads would not have been the best type of leadership for him at that time. I get it. I'm not mad about it, and anybody who thinks I am. No, I'm not. It's just the idea that he's really talented and plays that position. I like Witherspoon a lot. I still think it's really hard to draft a corner at the 5th overall pick and get the kind of value that pick deserves. And he's a really good player. He's a really good player. He's really good at what he does. McDonald obviously loves him, talks about him constantly in the force multiplier stuff, and he's a culture fit. There's a million great things about Spoon. Still hard for me to see drafting at number 5. It just still, even a couple years later.
even if he made 2 Pro Bowls in 2 seasons, even if he's kind of the heartbeat of the defense.
Yeah, it's still a little hard for me.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
So to this day, you would still rather have Jalen Carter than
on this team right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not close.
Really?
Of course. Yes, I would rather have Jalen Carter. And it's not people are going to hear that. Oh, Salk hates Spoon. I love Spoon.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's here. If he had been the number 10, 12 pick, I'd be like, perfect. That's exactly where you get a guy like that. That's unbelievable value, and he is a tremendous football player. But it's a rare opportunity to get to draft at number 5. And when you do it, yeah, I want a guy like Jalen Carter, a defensive lineman, an offensive tackle, a quarterback, a defensive end. Like, I want one of the 4 positions that I think most affect every single football game. And through no fault of his own, it's really hard to do that playing slot corner for a lot of the time. Like, I don't think that's a position that affects the game as much as defensive line, defensive end, quarterback, and tackle.
I think that if Devin Witherspoon, if he gets back to being kind of the same impact, having the same impact as he did 2 years ago as a blitzer, does that change your opinion on it? He still blitzed. He just didn't get home as often last year.
Yeah, it might. I mean, look, again, it's not like I'm going to be mad if he does really well. It's a hard argument to make, especially on the eve of the first game. I'm not like out here trying to crush Devin Witherspoon before the season gets going. I think he's an awesome player, and I think he does affect football games, and I love all the things that Mike McDonald loves about him and that whole force multiplier thing. You want more guys built like Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I think that is personality-wise, it's not close. Devin Witherspoon's personality over Jalen Carter's is an all day, every day. But I just think and I've said this for 3 years now, like just the value of a corner versus a D lineman's not close.
But if that's the case, then maybe we shouldn't be comparing those two head-to-head, and we should be saying, what if Byron Murphy has a big leap this year?
Well, I mean, that's another one. I mean, like, you need Byron Murphy to be really good. You drafted him. But again, that's number 16 pick, not number 5.
I'm just saying, would it change your mind about Carter if you end up saying, well, now you have Witherspoon and Byron Murphy?
Yes. Yeah, it would. If Byron Murphy develops into being a great player, yeah, it probably would.
Yeah, I think a big part of your analysis here is knowing that it's been a while since they've had like a truly impact, and those guys are hard to find.
Yeah.
Truly impact, like game-wrecking interior player.
And Leonard Williams is a really good player. I don't want to diminish him at all. I think he's unbelievable. He's one of my favorite players. I think he might be the best player on the team.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Like, I think I could say that with some pretty good confidence. I think Leonard Williams is their best football player.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to overlook Leonard Williams, but just in terms of that style of player, like,
you need disruptors. You need a game wrecker. Like, that's, to me, what wins defensive football games more so than a guy on the outside. And, you got to have corners. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they're not important.
Yeah.
But, geez, I really feel like the opportunity to wreck a game from the defensive line spot is still the number one way to win a football.
You're more willing to live with to take the bad with the good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think I know that they right now are not. And that was also the case a couple years ago.
Well,
but
and they couldn't
now.
then, Brady. They had DK and they had Geno. They were already dealing with some bad that goes with the good with both of those guys.
And they got rid of both of those guys because right now they are a lot less willing to live, to take the bad with the good.
I totally understand, which is why I'm not killing them for the decision. I just, it still hurts a little bit later that they weren't in that position at that time to maybe be able to do it. I understand it. This isn't a Crush John Schneider segment at all. Like, I get it. I totally understand the argument you've made and what they've said. Like, I get it. But it's still it's still out there. And every time you see Jalen Carter do something, yesterday was a notch on the other side. Yesterday was Jalen Carter doing something really dumb. And it's a big, check mark for those people who said, yeah, that's why we didn't want him. Next week, he might have 8 tackles, 2 sacks, and destroy whoever they're playing. And you might not watch it. It might not be on national TV. It might not be as obvious as what he did yesterday. But he's still a really impactful player game in, game out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people in that building having many second thoughts about the decision that they made. And that was, again, especially knowing kind of where they're at in the cycle of – and it has been a cycle of them, kind of being willing to live with those alpha type players. And I don't even think Jalen Carter is an alpha, frankly.
No, he might not be.
But the really talented players that come with baggage. And it's really been a cycle, I think, as I've seen it over the years, where they have been willing to live with those guys. A lot of the guys on the LOB were like that, and they came with baggage. And then they got tired of dealing with that. They started going for more easygoing players, and that meant fewer headaches, but it also came at the expense of an edge. And that was, I've said this before, because I know it to be true for a fact that was a big part of why they traded for Jamal Adams, is not just the talent, but getting that kind of shot in the arm, getting that kind of edge back. And you saw it with Adams, that it also comes with headaches. And I think right now they are back at the point in that cycle.
And I like that. I get it. I think that's great. And I think that's one of the reasons you just said you're excited about the team this year. I am too. I mean, like, this Carter thing just sort of came up out of nowhere. It's not like this was the plan to talk about today leading into the season. It does, though, go back to that one thing I do think they're missing, which is that star, right? That one guy. I was on, asked on a show on San Francisco this week, and they're like, hey, what's the strength of this defense? And I think this defense is going to be good. Top 5 defense. What's the strength? I don't know. I was like, I'm not sure. I don't know what the strength of the defense is. Do you?
Ability to pressure the quarterback, I think, should be their strength.
It should be, but it's funny. They don't really have one guy that's a double-digit, guaranteed sack guy. Like, they don't have one pass rusher that you really believe in on a key third down where you need a sack.
Yeah. No, it's more about just the number of people that they can throw at you that, they don't have – I mean, Leonard Williams got it last year, but they don't have, a guy – he got 10, I think, 10-something last year, but they don't have a guy who looks like he's going to get 15, 16 like some other teams do. But I think they have – and I love the analogy that you and Brock have used about the pitching rotation, where they don't have an ace. They've got a lot of really good number 2s and 3s. And but they also – what else they have is a coordinator who is really good at scheming guys up and scheming pressures into existence with, just kind of keeping offensive linemen and quarterbacks off balance. And so I think that is going to be a strength of theirs, even if they don't end up with, a guy who gets well into double digits in terms of sacks.
It's funny. That's exactly what my answer ended up being. It was like, because he said, oh, maybe it's the secondary. And I'm like, no, secondary's good. Linebackers are good. Defensive line's good. Edge rushers are good. Like, they're all good. But what's the real strength? It's probably Mike McDonald's ability to take all of those people and get more out of the whole than you have with the individuals. I love what they did defensively last year. Once Ernest Jones got here, it felt like they really took off. By the way, Ernest Jones seems like a great teammate. Mm-hmm. He seems like just a great dude to have around. I got a couple of cuts from him yesterday. You were there, right, for his press conference yesterday? I think it was yesterday. He was talking. There's some really...
I think that was maybe on the radio.
Maybe it was on the radio. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. Regardless, he was really good.
Yeah.
Here he was just talking about how much he loves Mike McDonald.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're always communicating. We met this morning talking over a few things. So we're just always in constant communication. I'm the next person after he makes a call that, has to relay and deliver the information. So I just want to make sure I'm on top of that, and just make sure the guys aren't worrying. But we have a great relationship. That's my guy. Love Coach Mike, and I'm excited about this weekend.
Yeah, that was on the huddle yesterday, excuse me. And here he is talking about his fellow linebacker, Tyrese Knight.
Yeah, that's my dog right there, man. That's my I still call him, that's my little rook, even though he's not a rookie anymore, man. We just grown as a personal relationship off the field. And that only helps us during the games, man, and during practice. We're so locked in, like, hey, how'd you see that? Did you see it the same way? And most of the time we see it the same way, so we're just going to grow as a duo.
Can I blow your mind really quick?
Yeah.
You want to know something crazy? Tyrese Knight and Ernest Jones are only a few months apart.
What?
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So Tyrese Knight was older coming out of college last year, and Ernest Jones, when he came out in 21, was younger. I think he was probably 21 years old. So those guys, I think, are I can't do math like this, but yeah, Ernest Jones is 25.
Just a few months older?
Yeah, born in November of 99. And Tyrese Knight is 24, born in December of 20. So
that's so crazy. Yeah, so when he's calling him Rook, they're basically the same age.
Oh, yeah,
he's just got that much more experience.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Pretty crazy. 360 brings Jared Verse into that conversation. Yeah, that's probably another one to bring into it as you're talking Byron Murphy, Jalen Carter. Yeah, you probably do need to throw Jared Verse in there as well as potentially a missed opportunity for that kind of a guy. All right, Brady, we're going to do this all morning long, just talking Seahawks with you. G's going to come in a little bit. We'll have open phone lines later. Right now, let's do 3 good football questions. We call Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
How do we feel about the new Blue 88 Open? It's improved. It used to be really bad.
Oh, I don't think I noticed it.
Good, because the one that was there right away there were some changes made and it got bad.
Well, someone pointed out that it's a false start.
It is, yeah. Brock says it's on 1, and then he gives a 3 count.
Oh.
Yeah. Terrible.
Let's hear the hard count.
What do you think?
Are you clearing your throat?
Yes, I am.
You're harrumping?
I would be a terrible NFL quarterback for many reasons, obviously. Can't throw a football was the biggest of them. I don't know how to read defenses. I'm not very fast. I'm too short. Like, there's a lot of reasons I wouldn't be a good NFL quarterback, but there's no way my voice could handle barking out signals the whole game. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. I always wonder about that. That's a skill in and of itself.
Well, do they do like honey? Like, there's got to be some trick to it.
Yeah. How do you not go hoarse after doing? I mean, maybe your voice just gets trained.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
No chance. 0 chance.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1, Brady. Why? 2-part question. Why did Abe Lucas get done? And who's next?
Yeah, I think Abe Lucas got done because the Seahawks were willing to take a gamble on his health after seeing him stay healthy for as long as he did. And he has not missed a single day. He did not miss a single day at training camp, did not miss a single practice in the spring, at least any that we saw. No vet days, no in and out, managing his snaps. Yep. He was out there every single play that he otherwise would have been. And so I think they got to a point where they were willing to take on an injury risk and feeling like his knee has really turned enough of a corner to where they were able to get that deal done. And again, it's on, if he stays healthy, that is going to be on a team-friendly deal. Now, I think I go back to something that John Schneider told us a few weeks ago when he said that he was talking about all the guys from that 2022 draft class that are now eligible for extensions. And he said, what you do is you try to get a deal done, and then if you can't, you move on to the next guy. And I know I can report that they tried to get a deal done with Kobe Bryant. And there was interest in both sides, but they just were too far apart. I don't think it was any sort of acrimonious thing. I just think they were too far apart. And I wonder if they said, okay, you can't get a deal done right now with Kobe. So they moved on to Abe. And look, if you ask me who the next guy could be, I do wonder if maybe they go back to Kobe Bryant. Maybe they try to get something done with Boye Mafe. Those are the two guys I could see happening now. I don't have any information to suggest that they have tried with Boye Mafe or that they do plan to, but I know that they tried with Kobe Bryant.
So more than Charles Cross, you think Boye could be next?
Yeah, because Charles Cross, he has 2 years left on his contract, and that's an organizational, just belief that they're not going to redo a guy's contract with more than a year left. So that's going to come next offseason. But yeah, Kobe Bryant is one guy to keep an eye on because I know that they did try earlier this summer.
All right, question number 2 for Brady Henderson. How much will we see Jalen Milroe, whether it's this weekend or this season? How much do you think he plays?
My best guess, and I'm just going based off what Mike McDonald said on the night that they drafted Jalen Milroe in the 3rd round, that Sam is still going to take 90+% of the snaps every game. So you're talking about if you play 60 snaps a game. Now, people who listen to the last segment know that my math is not good because I couldn't tell you exactly how.
That's
many.
Right. We have Lyle here for math. He's kind of a big math guy.
I couldn't tell you how
school.
many months older Ernest Jones is than compared to Tyrese Knight, but. That sounds like you're talking about 7-8 snaps a game, something like that.
That feels like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, at most, I would say.
You think you're going to get 7-8 snaps a game for Jalen Milroe?
Well, there could be.
That's awesome.
I think at most. Now, when you average it out over the season, like in games that they really use him, you might be talking about that. At most, I think it's probably, again, that's what they say.
What do you think the average is?
When it's all said and done, I would say maybe 4 or 5 snaps a game.
I think that's more than I would have guessed. I thought you were going to say at most 1 or 2.
Well, I imagine there's going to be situations where they let him have a series, and it's not maybe just a one-off play here and there, but it's a couple plays here and there. We'll see. I don't know that. It's so much of this is a mystery. I'm just going off of what Mike McDonald
honestly, I'm
told
surprised. I thought you were going to say occasionally for tush-push, short yardage things, and that's it.
Yeah, but that could be. But I think it could also be a situation where they let him stay in there for a few plays to really keep the defense off balance, and we'll see. I think there's going to be games where they might have a hard time even getting him on the active roster because. Yeah. Again, we talked about this last time I was on the show. I think they want him to be the 3rd quarterback, meaning if Sam Darnold were to go down, they would want to go to Drew Lock as opposed to Jalen Milroe. So what that means is you have to keep 3 quarterbacks active on game day. That's some games that's going to be hard to do, and especially if Jalen Milroe does what he did in that Green Bay preseason game where he puts the ball on the ground 3 times, it's going to be even harder to make that sacrifice at another position, and so. Maybe 8 or 9 is probably too high, but over the course of the season, my best guess is probably 4 or 5.
That's pretty exciting. I got to tell you, I love that answer. I was sort of joking yesterday and saying, you really want to surprise the Niners? Have them take the first snap on Sunday. That'll surprise the Niners.
That would.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so.
Question number 3. How about the running backs? How do you think those snaps break down this week into the season?
Yeah, I've been consistent with this for the last few months, and I think Brock has been on this as well, that I think you're going to see more of Zach Charbonnet than you might expect. If you were just expecting the typical starter backup role, I think you're going to see more of Charbonnet. And I'm willing to make this prediction, and I think Brock has also made this. And I again, this is not with any sort of inside information. This is just a prediction. I think that first snap of the game, you're going to see Zach Charbonnet out there. And I think that's, even if he doesn't end up with more touches, more snaps in the game than Ken Walker, I could see them wanting to give him kind of this symbolic gesture of recognizing that guy was out there every day, doing it right every single day. being a great teammate. Not that Ken Walker is not a good teammate. I'm not trying to imply that, but just doing everything the right way and doing it every day. And I think that they would maybe want to reward that and give that guy a nominal start. But I think it's going to be closer to an even split than some people might assume.
Well, I assume that Charbonnet is going to get more snaps than Walker. So that's been my assumption.
Yeah, and that might just happen.
I think
on
it's like
own.
60-40 Charbonnet.
Yeah, and it might just happen on its own because Ken Walker, as we know, has a pretty extensive
even without
injury
that.
history.
Even without that, I think it's about 60-40.
I think even if Ken Walker plays, we'll call it 14 games. Yeah, I think it's going to be close to even, if not a slight edge toward Charbonnet.
Very interesting. All right, that is today's Blue 88 with Brady Henderson, 425, wondering if you're seasick, if you've been on the boat too long, if that's why you think there's going to be so many snaps for Milroe. But I love it. I think that's great. 425 says, I just heard the new Blue 88 open. It's absolutely deplorable. Brock has to be better. Wow. All right, that's a lot. And then 425 ranking. More, I know you like a good ranking on a Friday. Salk distraction ranks updated. 6, soccer fans referring to soccer as a sport. 5, is country music actually music debates. Number 4, Spitgate. Number 3, the Goldstein family entrance. Yeah, that got me when Lyle's family came in. Number 2, any Brock-instigated Lyle chirp sessions. And then number 1, anything related to Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that usually distracts me for about 5 or 10 minutes.
How are you going to handle next? Is it next week the Steelers?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe we'll just play a whole bunch of Blue Over Earth. And I don't know. Rodgers will probably be hurt by then. It won't even be a factor. We'll probably have a torn Achilles or something by the time that game starts. All right. The number one guy in the crosshairs, Brady, is Sam Darnold, of course. He's the thing that is newest about these Seahawks. What have you learned about him over the last month? We'll ask you that question and more next on Brock and Salk.
Touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Trying to lose weight? It's time to try Hers. At 4hers.com/radio, you can access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you. These include oral medication kits and compounded GLP-1 injections, the same active ingredient that's in Ozempic and Wegovy. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits starts at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help from Hers.
Get started at 4hers.com/radio to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's 4hers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now, so you don't miss an episode.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, breaking news. No G. Scott this morning. Sorry, I thought G was going to be here, but he is otherwise occupied in Minneapolis today. I don't know what he's doing there, but G is otherwise occupied, so no G. Scott today. So Brady's just going to be you and me for another full hour, and then at 9 o'clock, I will tell you who the #1 most intriguing Seahawk is this year, and at 9:30, we'll open up the phone lines. Number 2 was Mike McDonald. Number 3 was Clint Kubiak, although I said I could make you a strong argument that Kubiak could have been number 1. Yeah. He could have been the #1 most intriguing Seahawk this year as a newcomer and as a guy who's really being brought in to save the offensive line and an offense that last year drove Mike McDonald crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, when you are the play caller, when you're the offensive play caller for a defensive-minded head coach, you're the head coach of the offense, right? And obviously the same is true with if you get an offensive head coach. Defensive coordinator is the head coach of the defense, and this is a big task for him. And, someone asked me in a different radio interview the other day about, why has Clint Kubiak bounced around? He hasn't gotten fired, per se. He's just been on the back end of some coaching tenures. That was the case in Minnesota when they moved on from Mike Zimmer, and they hired an offensive head coach. So typically, when that happens, the offensive head coach is either going to be the coordinator himself or he's going to bring in his own guy. So, and the same thing happened in New Orleans last season. So, he has bounced around, but it's not like he's been canned in these places. He's just been that's just how the NFL works sometimes. And so I think he is the right guy for the job in the sense that, in a few senses, but one being that there seems to be a lot of alignment between him and Mike Macdonald, which you really did not have last season. And Ryan Grubb, he gets credit for a few things, one of which was being able to convince Mike Macdonald in his interview that he was going to run the ball. And he obviously did not do that. And that's a big reason why Clint Kubiak is here and Ryan Grubb is back at Alabama, because Clint Kubiak is going to run the ball. And when you start looking about what's going to be the same, what's going to be different, this is going to be a team that is built, an offense that's built around the run game.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear that Mike was envious of what he saw from Detroit and Baltimore and a few other teams last year. Like, they're just playing complementary ball and bully ball in a way that he wants to and clearly wasn't last year. And so, yeah, I that's why I think I professed my potential love for Mr. Kubiak after that second preseason game, because I know people sort of made fun of my little edict. You can't run the ball if you don't run the ball, but I really do mean it. Like, I know it's sort of an exaggeration, but
a truism, if you will.
Like, it's just, yeah, it is a true. Like, all these people say they're going to run the ball and then they call passing plays. Like, you can't run the ball if you don't call a freaking running play. Like, that's just the first step in the process. Starting to foam at the mouth here. The first step of the process is just calling a damn running play. And he did that over and over again.
The thing. You can't run the ball if you don't run the ball.
All right, it's a whole song now.
You can't run the ball if
haven't heard
you
this one
don't
yet.
run the ball.
No? It's burning up the charts.
Yeah, I didn't see that on my Spotify.
It's going to be on Casey Kasem's top 100 next week.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the difference between coordinators who have it ingrained in them, like Kubiak does, like you would think that Kubiak does, and coordinators who know that, yeah, you've got to run the ball to have balance, to set up the passing game. That was Ryan Grubb.
But they don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
Shane Waldron didn't really want to do that. Darrell Bevel never really wanted to do it. Like, they did it.
Early Bevel did, I think.
But they didn't really want to do it.
Yeah, I think he might have, and then maybe, it gets difficult when you got a quarterback who wants to throw the ball. But
probably.
I just think it's the difference between guys that it's ingrained in them and guys that know that, they're more pass-centric coordinators. Ryan Grubb coordinated some of college football's most pass-heavy offenses at Fresno State and at UW. That was never a guy who really wanted to run the ball,
made any sense,
other than to satisfy a head coach or to set up the passing game.
So ridiculous. So what do you? So he takes over and he gets a new quarterback right off the bat. What have you learned about Sam Darnold in the last month or so of watching him and being around him a little bit?
Seems like the kind of guy that teammates really gravitate towards. And it was from afar, you could really tell that last season in Minnesota. Remember that great clip after the Green Bay game and, late in the season where, the locker room is sort of waiting for him. He does like an on-field interview after they beat the Packers. The locker room's sort of waiting for him. And the moment he walks in the locker room, players erupt, and they're lifting him up on his shoulders like he just won the Super Bowl. And you can really, just the more I've been around Sam, obviously I'm not like in the building in those meetings every day, but just kind of observing him from my angle, you can tell why that is. He just seems like the kind of guy that people would gravitate towards. And that I know for a fact, and this is, people who love Geno Smith, they might have a hard time hearing this, but the fact of the matter is, a big part of the reason why they moved on from Geno Smith was because they didn't feel like he was the best leader for this team. And that is something they really feel like Sam Darnold is going to be that's going to be one thing that Sam Darnold does better. Sam Darnold is not a more talented quarterback than Geno Smith. He's not. He's not a more talented thrower of the football. But he is, quite a bit younger. He's, somewhat cheaper. They got a third-round pick out of that swap. And they got a quarterback that they feel like is going to be a better leader.
So every time this comes up, so I agree with all that. Well said. Every time this comes up, someone or many people will write in and say, the Seahawks didn't move on from Geno. Geno demanded a trade.
He did not demand a trade. He did not ask for a trade. That didn't happen. I know that was reported, but it didn't happen. What happened was the Seahawks had been half-heartedly going down this road of trying to extend Geno Smith. And they had been lukewarm on him, or at least John Schneider had been lukewarm on him. And the moment Pete Carroll was fired I think everything changed for Geno Smith because the guy who was probably his biggest supporter in the organization, and by the way, the guy who had final say over personnel decisions, was no longer there. And the dynamic, I think Geno's standing in the organization changed dramatically when Pete Carroll was no longer here. So now you have a front office that I think has always been kind of somewhat lukewarm on him. And they tried to get that deal done early. Remember, Geno Smith wanted a new contract last offseason. He didn't get one. My understanding is that became pretty acrimonious. And the time that he missed in training camp, remember those 3-4 days that he missed in training camp last summer, it was ostensibly because he was banged up with, a knee and a hip injury. But people in that building firmly believe that that was a contract protest, that Geno Smith had asked the Seahawks for an extension, didn't get one, and that was his way of sort of protesting it and saying, okay, you can go see what life is like with Sam Howell at quarterback for a few days. By the way, Sam Howell was terrible, and Geno Smith, I think, saw that as an opportunity to make a point. And that, I think, was still kind of on the back of everyone's mind, his mind, when they started negotiating a contract. They made him an offer. He felt it was way too low. He balked at it, and there was a few days of radio silence. And I think the Seahawks saw that as an opportunity. By the way, after seeing that Sam Darnold did not get franchise tagged by Minnesota, meaning he was going to become a free agent, they saw an opportunity to pivot. They had an out, and they took it. But if they were higher on Geno Smith, they would have been a lot more patient, knowing that they had an entire offseason to get that.
Do you think it was a non-offer? Like an offer, but the sort of hope was that he wouldn't take it?
No, I think it was an offer that ended up being somewhat similar to what he got. And I'd have to go back and look at my reporting on that. But I believe it was a 2-year offer for about $35 million per year. And again, this is in new money.
So they made him a real offer.
Yeah, it was a real offer. Yeah, I believe that. And, remember, I
think that's what's hard for people to kind of grasp. Why, if they didn't really want him, did they make him a real offer?
I don't think they didn't. I think that's probably overstating it, that they didn't want him. I think that they wanted him at their price, but they again, when Sam Darnold became a free agent, and Aaron Rodgers, this is another wild what if. Aaron Rodgers was also, I think, in play for them. At least in their minds, as an alternative. I think their top two options were Sam Darnold and Aaron Rodgers. And if it wasn't Sam Darnold,
it was going to be Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I could have come into work, man. Honestly, I know there's a lot of people who would have been happy that I would have stayed home. That might have been it. Lyle, I'd be pulling a Geno Smith like, hey, let's see what life is like with Lyle leading the show every day, because I don't know if I can come in and talk every day about Aaron Rodgers. We'll come back. That's Brady Henderson with some great stuff.
And don't quote me on those
I'm quoting
numbers.
you.
I'd have to go look at back.
Those are the numbers. If you get them wrong,
offer.
Brady, you will not be invited back. We demand perfection in your memory and perfection in Need to Know Next.
Touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
And now, tales of another way. How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins September 29th. Save $2 per toll with a Good to Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Upgrade your home's comfort, style, and energy efficiency before winter during Lake Washington Windows Autumn Savings Event. Save $500 on every window, $1,000 on every door, plus enjoy 0 payments and 0 interest for 12 months. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafeet from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, I don't want to undersell it. This is a gigantic series for the Mariners this weekend, as they have really been problematic on the road, and this road trip has been a disaster. 1-5 through the first 6 games, so a huge series in Atlanta. Starting tonight, something's got to change, and it's got to change quick. You got your pitchers going. Logan Gilbert starts tonight against Chris Sale, so a great matchup. Then tomorrow, Bryce Miller coming off a good start against Hurston Waldrop, who has been excellent so far this year. And then if this was 2 years ago, Luis Castillo and Spencer Strider would have been the marquee. We'll see what it looks like on Sunday. That's an early game. And then, by the way, no rest. They fly straight back to Seattle. They'll take on St. Louis on Monday at home. They did make a small roster move yesterday. Recently claimed lefty Jose Castillo reported to the club from the Mets. He replaces Taylor Cicero on the roster, so he heads back to Tacoma. If you were scoreboard watching last night, it went, I don't know, so-so. Astros lose. That was the good news. So 3.5 back now in the division. But both the Rays and the Royals won. So Texas was off. You're still a game and a half up on Texas. Only 2 up on Kansas City and Tampa, as both of those teams are, right, again, all 3 of those teams right and hot on your tail.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Game day, Sunday, Seahawks, Niners. NFL season will be underway for Seahawks fans. Team's been healthy until you get this Anthony Bradford thing that popped up yesterday. All the other news looked really good. And Tyrese Knight's not even on the injury report. Yeah. And Torrey Horton looks like he's going to play. But Anthony Bradford went out and won that job. It's such a bummer to see him on the injury report with a back, no less.
Yeah, he won that job. And I think he won it well before Mike McDonald announced it. And my suspicion was always that McDonald was holding off on declaring Bradford the winner of that job because he probably didn't want to give him a reason to let up.
And as soon as he did, he got hurt.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and who knows? I mean, that was, yeah, he did announce that a few weeks ago, but I think Bradford had been their guy for a while. And, you know, Bradford he's a bigger guy, and that was part of the reason why he won the job was because he got himself in really good shape. He got himself ready to play in this offense, this scheme that's going to demand that offensive linemen really fire off the ball and move well in space and everything like that. And so we'll see how, when we hear from Mike McDonald this afternoon, we'll get a better sense of, what this back injury is and how serious it is. But it's always difficult when something shows up on Thursday because there's this gap between when we hear from the head coach on Wednesday and Friday. So I can't tell you much about that right now other than it showed up yesterday. He did not practice, and we'll have to wait and see what it means.
Good news, though, for Abe Lucas. He signs his extension yesterday, 3 years, $46 million. And here is Abe being, happy for him.
First, I want to thank the organization, obviously, for their belief and their faith in me, and Coach McDonald and Coach Benton and Patty and John and Joey Lane for really, putting something together for me. In my mind, it's a reflection of how much they believe in me, and I love this team. I love this organization. I mean, it's literally my dream coming true, the dream that I had since the time I was, 3 years old, 4 years old, watching football with my dad. And, so I'm just so stoked about it. And it means everything to me. I'm going to keep being the same guy, keep putting my head down and working and, same stone face, no emotion type of guy. But, I'm so excited about it. I'm just really happy that something was able to get done.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the self-awareness there. And I think you really got to appreciate just how cool of a story this is. A guy who grew up in Everett, went to Archbishop Murphy, stayed in state to play at Wazoo, and by the way, overcame quite a bit of adversity, with the knee injury that, some people were wondering. I don't think he was ever wondering, but some people were wondering if, man, are you ever going to see this guy back on the field again?
Pete used the word chronic. Abe has since said, hey, that's not the case, but Pete used the word chronic. To see him get to this point is pretty great.
Yeah, and people might look at this deal and say, well, this is a big deal for a guy who, has had a pretty significant knee injury. Now, we'll wait to see what the guaranteed total looks like. But, this is a bet that the Seahawks are making that he's going to stay healthy. And obviously, they've seen him not miss a single thing all offseason. And as I said earlier, this APY, $15.33 million, that ranks 13th among right tackles. When Abe is healthy and right, he's clearly a top 10 guy. So this is a gamble on his health.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
He didn't play me off.
No, that was my bad. I did it better this time. Great start to the NFL season last night. Forgetting about all the garbage with Jalen Carter and Dak at the beginning, it's just a really good football game. And I think Jalen Hurts just makes a difference, man. I mean, just his ability to run with the football, throw the football, be in command of that offense, deal with Philadelphia and some of just the challenges around there. I just find myself consistently impressed with him. I like Dak, too. I think Dak is a good player who also deals with a lot of garbage around him, and the drops did not help late in that game. CeeDee Lamb with a couple of them that really killed him. There was the fumble as well. Miles Sanders.
From the 11-yard line, Sanders. Ball out. Picked up by Quinyon Mitchell. And down at the 16-yard line.
I mean, you can't fumble in the red zone. That was another killer for them. But I just come away, as I almost always do, just impressed with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, there was one moment that really caught my attention, and Collinsworth on the broadcast made mention of it, about how, Jalen Hurts takes the snap and he's surveying the field, and he is totally calm in the pocket. Feet are not even moving. He's not getting antsy. It just looked like a guy who had total trust in his offensive line and total trust in the play, and that was just a cool moment, because a lot of times when the pocket's collapsing, even before it starts collapsing, you see quarterbacks get antsy, and you see the happy feet, and you see them take off sometimes prematurely. I thought that was just a cool display of pocket presence there. And the other thing I really admire about Jalen Hurts is just the mentality. And sometimes he almost seems too serious. Like, you want him to loosen up and have a little fun. But I do think the mentality that he has is really going to serve him well as they try to repeat, because he just does not seem like the kind of guy who was going to get all full of himself. He's a coach's son, always has seemed very grounded in that way. And if there's anybody who can repeat, it seems like he has the mentality to do it.
Chiefs and Chargers will go tonight in Brazil. Arizona's at New Orleans on Sunday. Rams will host Houston. And then Baltimore at Buffalo is the big Sunday night matchup. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here in the Brock and Salk Show. I'd always liked Jalen Hurts since he got benched in that game for Alabama and for Tua. And I just thought he handled it so well.
Yeah.
Like, I thought was so classy after that game, and it had to be embarrassing. It had to hurt. And I thought he handled it so well. And I've been a fan of his literally since that day. And then the next year to come back and end up having to replace Tua, and they win the national championship, and then he goes to Oklahoma. Like, the whole story I thought was great. When I found out that Russell Wilson said no to a trade to Philly that would have brought him here, I thought that was terrible. It's really too bad. I would have loved for him to have been the Seahawks quarterback every week.
You got to fill me in on that one.
Wasn't that part of it? That they had a deal done to Philadelphia, and Russ had a no trade and said, no, I'm not going to Philly. I want the Denver deal.
I never heard that.
Oh, really? Well, that's been out there quite a bit.
Who reported that?
Grant Cohn, I think, from San Francisco. No, I don't remember who reported it. I thought that was pretty common knowledge. No,
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I know how this works. I know that, some things get a little inflated, and maybe it wasn't an offer. Maybe there was discussion. So I don't know. I never heard that specifically.
I thought that was one of the conversations that was out there.
I'll tell you what. I'll look into it.
All right. Why don't you look into that, Brady? Now, in fact, during the break, if you wouldn't mind looking into it and getting back to me in 4 minutes. We got Brady for another half hour. We're going to prep for the season, prep for the game, prep for the weekend. It is a Football Friday, of course, which is powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. We'll be back with a lot more Brady Henderson, Seattle Sports on 710.
Wyman and Bob.
We got Gray Zabel, rookie guard.
Every afternoon at 2.
Our texters that text into the show will give you, some restaurant advice. Which way should they direct you?
Man, the simple thing is just you run the damn ball with like a steak and potato type restaurant. I would certainly start with El Gaucho. That's my favorite. Yeah. I'm getting cultured by my left tackle, Charles Cross. So I just tried sushi for the first time like a week ago. That was all right.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. Just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Bearing Industrial Contractors reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring our children home safely. The entire team at Berrien Industrial Contractors urges parents to discuss these issues at once and avoid getting that dreaded call in the middle of the night your loved one is gone.
Upgrade your home's comfort, style, and energy efficiency before winter during Lake Washington Windows Autumn Savings Event. Save $500 on every window, $1,000 on every door, plus enjoy 0 payments and 0 interest for 12 months. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2025 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 26th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 26th at woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Trying to lose weight? It's time to try Hers. At 4hers.com/radio, you can access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you. These include oral medication kits and compounded GLP-1 injections, the same active ingredient that's in Ozempic and Wegovy. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits starts at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help from Hers. Get started at 4hers.com/radio to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's 4hers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Matt in Oregon checking in. Who's going to join Salk next Friday now that he's tired of Brady fact-checking all his talking points? Matt, you're the best. Au contraire.
Yeah, no.
Brady's been fact-checked here.
Well, you know what? That story didn't come out until a year plus after
don't
the
make
fact.
excuses.
No, I'm just saying, that's why I
no
was
one
not
wants
really...
your excuses, Brady Henderson.
Yeah, I'm done with the story.
360, don't make us lose faith as the go-to Seahawks insider, Brady. Philly definitely had an offer on the table, which Wilson declined. So here, we did just do a little research here in the break, because I didn't remember, as you might not be surprised to hear. It sounds like Ian Rappaport was the first with the info. Now, I think you know that I don't necessarily put a lot of faith into that report. So it was backed up by some Greg Bishop reporting, and I put a lot of faith into Greg Bishop, who's a friend and an unbelievable reporter, great guy, the whole deal, and I would never impugn Greg. And then finally, Jake Heaps actually kind of said the same thing. It's a pretty good source on this. So I think it's pretty clear that something went down. That the exact details of it, who knows? But it would have been pretty interesting if Jalen Hurts was here instead of Jake Law, Drew Lock.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Wilson would turn down that trade. Now that would have been 2023, so that would have been Sirianni. No, this was 2022. Was Sirianni there by
I don't think so. I think it was whoever was there before Sirianni. I don't know. Who the heck can remember, Brady? I don't remember these things. I just know that Russ said no. That's all I can remember. I remember the salient point that Russ didn't want to do it. My guess, why did he say no? He didn't want to be critiqued by the Philadelphia media all the time.
Well, he's back in New York. Now
he is, because he's desperate.
There was always the report that he wanted to go to New York.
I got the sense that Russ was a lot happier going to the Denver media that was going to erect statues for him before he even threw a pass than he was going to Philadelphia, where they boo you no matter what.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. There was the report way back when that he was interested in going to New York. I think he would have seen that.
New York's
as
not Philadelphia, though.
Big marketing opportunity. You think Philadelphia media is tougher than?
I think Philadelphia fans are tougher than New York fans. Maybe not the media, but the media is pretty close. More than that, though, the upside of being the Giants quarterback is different, right? You're in New York as opposed to Philadelphia, which, as much as they might want to be, is not New York. And it's a very different vibe that doesn't have like the full New York thing. I don't know. That was always my gut. Who the heck knows why he didn't want to do it? Maybe he didn't like the coach, didn't like the offense, didn't like something. They've only gone on to win a couple of Super Bowls. I think Russ showed pretty clearly during his time here that he was not a very good GM, and the players he wanted to bring in tended to not work out. One of them joined us yesterday on the show. Like, Russ was not very good at that, even though he wanted to dabble in it. So if he chose poorly in the rosters that he wanted, hey, look, what did Russ end up eventually choosing? An organization that he could run. Where he could choose the coach, for God's sake.
He could walk over, yeah.
And he wasn't going to get that in Philadelphia. Not with a strong owner, not with a strong general manager, not with that media. Like, you're just not going to be able to do that in Philly. So I'm not that surprised that he didn't want to go there.
Yeah, had some pretty good weapons there.
He did?
And that was Doug Peterson was the head coach
It was.
at the time.
Yeah.
So you got an offensive-minded head coach.
I know. He would have let Russ cook and everything. But, hey, so Seahawks are going to play Sunday morning. Mariners-Braves series finale is Sunday. You can listen to that here in the Seattle Sports app or on 770 AM. First pitch will be just after 9 o'clock. Meanwhile, Seahawks kick off the 2025 season against the Niners. You know that. That's also on the app and here on 710 with pregame coverage beginning at 10 a.m. So best way to do it, just download the Seattle Sports app, and then you can find both broadcasts, and that's the simplest way to listen on Sunday. We'll go through some buy or sell predictions here, Brady, in about 10 minutes. We won't hold you to any of them, but just trying to get a sense as to what this team is going to do this year. We have spent an inordinate amount of time talking about the offense. Sam Darnold is new. The coordinator is new. They've traded DK. They traded Tyler. They traded Geno, or cut Tyler in that case, but they've moved on from all three. There's a leadership element to that and some of the loyalty to Pete, new systems. We've talked to death about all of that. We haven't talked that much about the actual strength of this team, which is probably on us, but we haven't talked that much about the defense. There seems to be a pretty clear belief that this defense is going to be even better than it was last year. Why?
Well, because you saw it. You saw it when they found their footing around midseason after, making some pretty significant personnel changes, including swapping out both starting inside linebackers and also just guys figuring out what Mike Macdonald was trying to do schematically. And, I think when you bring in a defense like that, that's as complex as it is, it's going to take time for guys to figure it out. And it's going to, take time for that whole defense to gel and to start playing the way that they want to play when, Tyrell Dodson is like cool of a guy as he is, could not stop the run. And, that's why they moved on from a guy who at the time was their leading tackler. He just wasn't getting it done as a run defender. And I think, they obviously moved on from Jerome Baker as well in the Ernest Jones trade. So, but the bottom line is that defense, even with a couple blips in December against some good offenses, was playing pretty well by the end of the season. And, I've mentioned this before. I think it was 13. So they had 16 guys who played at least, oh, God, I'm mixing up my own numbers now. I think it was at least 300 defensive snaps for them last season. Of those 16, 13 are back. And the only 3 that aren't back are Dodson, Rayshon Jenkins, and Draymond Jones, guys that they didn't want back. So all their key players essentially are back. The scheme is the same. It's the same coaching staff who's teaching that scheme. So you just got to figure that, they ended up, I think, 9th in points allowed defensively last season. And that was after a pretty rough start to, and so.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what you say there about kind of learning the scheme and how it takes some time. Usually when you start thinking about a team as going from good to great, or a unit going from good to great, it's because they've added something where you're like, okay, now they've added such and such, and that's going to put them over the top. And they've made a couple of additions, obviously DeMarcus Lawrence, and we'll see what Nick Eamon-Warry can do for the defense. Like, those two could be helpful.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like those are the reasons why people are talking them up. It actually feels more like it's the consistency and just getting deeper into the Mike Macdonald bag of like, all right, here's all the things this guy's capable of. And if you get that deep into it, like you're gonna see even more out of this defense than you saw last year.
Yeah, but I would also not discount the ability for DeMarcus Lawrence to be an upgrade over Draymond Jones in terms of setting an edge.
Draymond Jones was bad, man. Like, of all the people, that guy, I never liked Draymond Jones here. Never got in it. Like, from the first day I saw him. We walked into, and I know, Blink Scout, yada, yada, but I walked in to training camp, and I was like, wait, that's a defensive lineman? He looked like a linebacker. What are we talking about? That's not a D lineman. Like, what? Who thought this guy was a defensive lineman? He's not. He's not big enough.
Yeah, and he just was not a physical, rugged player, and that has been DeMarcus Lawrence's MO for over a decade in the NFL. He is a rugged, violent player who just plays with an edge, and I do think he's going to be, look, I don't think at 33 years old he's going to make a Pro Bowl, but I do think you are going to notice a difference there in terms of just physicality. And Eamon-Warry, we'll see how much he ends up playing this season. It sounds like, he certainly is going to play. He's going to be part of that big nickel package. I'm sorry, I should have warned you so that you don't get too excited.
I get pretty excited when I hear big nickel.
He is in that big nickel package, and you are going to see him play, I would say, I'm guessing probably 10, 15, 20 plays a game, somewhere in that range. The question I have with him is, when are the instincts going to catch up with the athleticism? Because we know he is just an athletic marvel, 4.38 speed, 43-inch vertical jump. He's got good ball skills, and when I watch him, it just seems like he's kind of out there thinking and not just reacting. And I just wonder when he's going to be able to truly cut it loose. And I asked Adam Dirty, the defensive coordinator, about that yesterday, and he said, they are kind of having a smaller menu of plays, a smaller menu of responsibility, so that he has less on his plate and that he can really focus on kind of that narrow role so that he can cut it.
What do you say? You don't want to take the playmaker out of him by asking him to do and think too much.
He's able to play nickel. He's played special. He's played the big nickel, and I gave that one to him.
Do you remember how mad Pete would get every time I'd ask about the big nickel?
That was Bradley. That was back in the day that Bradley McDougal.
Yeah,
was.
Like, Pete, you guys gonna go big nickel? Oh, what's big nickel? Yeah, you go big nickel. He just liked to be mean to me during those interviews. It's just ridiculous.
They call it their Irish package, but
they do.
It's a big nickel. Yeah, and I think it derives from when Macdonald was in Baltimore. He had Kyle Hamilton and went to Notre Dame. So, I think this role is going to be similar for Eamon-Warry, but again, I don't want to overstate like how
It's an interesting big nickel, by the way, when you think about it. The three safeties you're talking about being Eamon Worry, Love, and Kobe Bryant. Two of them started as cornerbacks.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about big nickel, like they are, I mean, they're now playing safety, but barely. I mean, like both guys came in as corners, and even Eamon Worry, they've talked about using as almost a slot corner with some of his ability. Like, it's a big nickel with safeties, but all guys who could play a little cornerback.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that role, like, you're still going to see Love and Bryant back in, like, traditional safety alignments, but you're going to see Eamon Worry play in the box.
I guess what I mean is it gives them the ability to cover even out of that big nickel package. So it's not like going to it is like, hey, this is only here to stop the run or to hit people. Like, hey, if you want to throw on the big nickel, like, these guys can all cover as well. I was saying it's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's maybe a big part of it is like I think you could see Eamon Worry really be a factor against the run in this game, because that is part of why you bring in the big nickel is, you know, when you have a traditional nickelback out there, that does kind of invite teams to run at that guy, because your nickelback is typically your smaller, quicker cornerback, and you know, that's a guy you could potentially exploit.
So what does that mean for Witherspoon, who's, you know, played a lot of that nickel corner on, you know, in nickel packages? He bumps inside. What does that mean? Will we see him more on the outside and less of, you know, what's the guy's name? Josh. The other corner over there.
Josh Jobe.
Josh Jobe, thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there still are going to be plenty of plays a game where they are in their traditional nickel alignment, where Witherspoon is playing inside. And I still think that that's where he's at his best, when he is able to affect games like that, where he's closer to the action. You know, he is not he's not nearly as big as Nick Eamon Worry, but he's a physical presence in run defense. And, you know, he's not like, I don't look at Witherspoon as a traditional cornerback who's like a super sticky coverage guy. And that's not saying he's a bad coverage guy, but his strength is being just a physical playmaker around the ball. And so I don't think that they want to – that's why I'm really curious to see how much they play Eamon Worry in that Irish package, because I think that the best chance for Witherspoon to impact the game is when he's at nickel and he's in that role close to the line of scrimmage.
There's a G. Scott joke in here somewhere about the Irish package, but I think I'll probably let it go. You know, G found out that he's whatever it is, 80% Irish or something. Oh, it was only 20. All right, fine. Some percentage Irish. So there's probably a joke in here somewhere, but we'll just move it along. Brady, we only have you for a few more minutes, and I know how much you adore playing games while you're here.
Yeah.
I know you know how complicated our games tend to be. Today we've got for you buy or sell. In this one, you buy it or you
sell it.
Sell it. Yeah.
Are you gonna sing the song that Brock sings?
No, I don't do country music.
All right, I've got some buy or sell based on kind of predictions for this season.
Okay.
So first up, Julian Love will lead the team in tackles again. He did last year with 109 combined and 79 solo. Buy or sell, he does it again.
I'm selling that. I mean, your leading tackler is typically your middle linebacker. And, you know, I think probably the only reason Ernest Jones didn't lead the team in tackles was because he didn't get there until October, right? So a full season of Ernest Jones in his second year in this scheme, yeah, I think Ernest Jones is going to be
sold in the back row.
I was going to say the same thing, and I think, though, if it is Julian Love, that's probably not a good thing, right? I mean, I think you really want it to be somebody closer to the line of scrimmage, or else there's a lot of plays being made farther down the field. So I'm going to sell it. I think it is Ernest Jones also.
Sold in the back row.
Thank you, and yeah, I'm just going to repeat Brady's answer.
All right, Zach Charbonnet had 569 rushing yards last year. He doubles that this year with 1,138. Buy or sell?
I'm going to sell that.
Yeah.
But not by much.
In the back row.
I'm sorry, Maura.
I thought I might be able to get you with that one. You're high on him.
If you had gone 1.5, I would have gotten there, I think. I think he gets to 800 yards or so. I think he's going to be really good. I might even take 1,000. 1,150 feels like a lot. But could he get to 1,000? Yeah, I think he could. I think he's going to be the primary running back eventually. Like, I think he's going to get more and more snaps. And Brady, I appreciate all the things you said about why, his leadership, his accountability, all that stuff. Reliability, excuse me. At the end of the day, I just think he's a better fit for the offense. I think that this offense' biggest problem is it doesn't have a lot. It's not going to be good if it's in 3rd and 12. And I think Ken Walker puts you behind the 8 ball more often than Zach Charbonnet does. He might break some runs. Don't get me wrong. He's a good running back. But I don't think this team can deal with being in 3rd and 12 very often. And I think Charbonnet keeps him out of it. Yeah, I think he gets 1,000 yards. Or close to it, anyway.
I'm going to sell on
Sold
1,000
in the back
yards.
row.
I'm going to certainly sell on, what would you say, 11, whatever it was. I think
11:38.
Yeah, my best guess right now is that, Charbonnet is right around 750 and Walker is a little bit below that. Something like that. And I think if Charbonnet is sniffing 1,000 yards, that's probably because Ken Walker missed an extended amount of time. So I'm going to sell on that, but I'm going to say that, yeah, he still leads the team in rushing.
We got a lot of text messages about what you could update the package with Eamon Worry on if you were just going by college nicknames, college teams.
Yeah, that joke has been made. Yeah.
I'm just checking.
Yeah.
All right,
I may have made that joke myself.
I would imagine, as sophomoric as you are, you've probably made something along those lines. You guys can look it up. He went to South Carolina.
Leonard Williams led the team with 11 sacks last season. Buy or sell, someone has more this year.
I'm going to sell that. I'm going to say that.
Sold in the back row.
You guys aren't buying anything today.
I'm going to buy this one. Don't worry. I'm going to buy this.
Yeah, I think Leonard Williams is a fantastic player, but I think that, typically you see one of your edge guys leads the team in tackles.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Derek Hall leads the team.
That's what I was going to say. That's buying. You're buying it. That somebody else does.
I said buy or sell, buy that someone else has more.
Oh,
more
I'm
than
sorry.
11, though.
Yeah,
Brady, we have all the same answers because I'm going to buy it for the same reason. I think Derek Hall breaks out.
Yeah.
He was,
more
what
than
number?
11?
Huh?
With more than 11?
Ooh.
Okay, I am selling that. I think he's going to get, we'll say 10.5.
Yeah, I was going to say he gets to like 9 or 10, and he's just below that. But I don't think Leonard Williams is going to get to where he did last year. Just hard to do from his position. Yeah, I think Derek Hall leads the team in sacks, though, when it's all said and done. And I hope that maybe some of that is the hope. He was, number 5 on my most intriguing list?
Yeah.
Because he's just the one guy. Now, look, maybe it's still Mafe, maybe Boye. Like, we always knew it was going to take a while with him, but the fact that he's had one extra year overhaul probably makes him a little less intriguing. Derek Hall's got that ability. If he puts it together, yeah, he could lead the team in sacks.
Yeah, and I don't know if this has anything to do with how many sacks he's going to have, but you know what else Derek Hall has?
Gigantic legs.
He's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Derek Hall is...
biggest knees I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he has got... and that's why players have talked about why he and DeMarcus Lawrence are kind of like kindred spirits, and why Lawrence is kind of taken to Hall is that those guys have kind of the same like hair on fire mentality. Jaron Reed said they're both crazy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's maybe one thing that kind of separates Hall from Mafe, who's more of an easygoing guy. And is that Derek Hall is just he plays with his hair on fire. And again, I don't know if that means he's going to have any more sacks than anybody else, but that is just something to watch. Is this guy is a rugged, physical dude. I think I told you the story about in Green Bay where remember how chippy that practice was, and I was probably as close as I am to Lyle right now, closer than I am to Lyle right now, from where I saw Derek Hall barking at Green Bay Packers defenders, and that was as close as I've ever been to one of those like
at their defenders,
or sorry,
at their offensive
yeah,
players.
the offensive players, and he was. I just seeing the look in his eye, I was like, that's. Not that I would mess with any NFL player, but that's not a guy that I would ever mess with. I wouldn't mess with the kicker on an NFL team, just to be clear. But my point is that Derek Hall just looks like he.
Will McDonough did. Will McDonough dropped a cornerback in the locker room.
Will McDonough.
Yeah, Sean's father.
Oh, really?
Will McDonough, who's the godfather of NFL reporters.
Yeah.
Because he was really the first guy to turn it into a TV job with CBS. I think it was Raymond Claiborne in the Patriots locker room said something to him, and he dropped him.
Wow.
Yeah. He also grew up with Whitey Bulger, so it's sort of a different experience than you had growing up, but still.
Yeah, you're not going to see me throwing hands in the locker room.
Yeah.
Or anywhere else for that matter.
That's probably less likely to happen today than it was then.
Hope so.
Out of the 80s.
All right, Laviska Shenault had a 97-yard kickoff return touchdown against the Niners last year. It was the Seahawks' first since Travis Homer in 2021. Buy or sell that they have more than one this year with the new dynamic kickoff rules.
Ooh, more than one.
Sell. More
Sold
than one?
in the back row.
I'd be impressed if they had one. I'll be honest, I forgot that Laviska Shenault was a Seahawk or that he had a kickoff return for a touchdown last year. So
He did in the 49ers game.
I kind of forgot about all that. Yeah, I'll sell that.
I'm going to sell it, but you are going to see Thank you. I'm missing Brock. You were singing that song. Yeah, you are going to see more kickoff returns this season. And the new rule, remember, they've been tweaking this rule for a number of years now, but they have moved the touchbacks from the 30 to the 35-yard line. And the idea is that that's going to incentivize kicking teams to put the ball in play and to not kick it out of the back of the end zone, because knowing that, you're going to get 5 yards, the offense is going to get 5 yards extra if you just kick the ball out of the back of the end zone. So they're going to try to incentivize more returns, and so maybe league-wide you might see 1 or 2 more kickoff returns for a touchdown,
What if that guy
is asking a lot.
That guy kicked a 70-yard field goal, right, in preseason?
Yeah, the Chargers kicker.
So that means the ball was, when he kicked it, at the 40, right? Because that's 60 plus another 10, which means the ball, like the line of scrimmage, was their own 47, right?
Yeah.
Their own 47, 48-yard line.
17, 18 yards, basically.
If you get the ball at the 35 and you can kick a 70-yard field goal, you have to go 12 yards.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, no one's going to be kicking 70-yard field goals. But the point is,
We'll
35.
see.
When you start at the
crazy.
35-yard line, you're probably 20 yards from being in.
That's insane.
Easy, not easy, but good field goal range.
Legitimately one pass.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. All right, that's Brady Henderson. That's Buy or Sell. Brady, have a great season. Obviously, we'll be talking to you quite a bit, as we always do. Brady's reporting second to none at ESPN, ESPN.com, and all the platforms and everything else. Make sure you're following Brady for all the latest and greatest. Thanks, buddy. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, a Friday with Brady. We won't have as many of these this year. Brock's going to be in on a lot more Fridays now that he's no longer doing the college football stuff and coaching instead. But Brady is always welcome anytime, and I'm sure we'll be talking quite a bit. We still have another hour to go in our week. That will include some open phone lines at 9:30. Seahawks, Mariners, everything on the table for you guys. Start thinking about what you want to call about. 866-979-3776. But before we do it, we've been counting down for a month now. I'm finally ready to reveal, and this is a shock, the number one most intriguing Seahawk next.
Touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7 24/7, 365 days a year because riders deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafeet from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. What about when you want to sell your car, though? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how can you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? Stacey Rost here, and that's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. They've already given back over $800,000 to their customers. You can go to the website to see pictures of giant checks for yourself. It's such a great offer, and I know exactly what you're wondering right now. How are they able to do it? It's not a consignment because you get paid for your car right away. Wayscar Ford pays you right up front. They buy your car for fair market value. No more insurance, no more maintenance, no more storage, no more headaches. Then they pay you half the profit when they resell your car. It's just that simple. Get the most money possible for your old car at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work. WayscarFord.com. That's WayscarFord.com.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, you can't keep an eye on everything. Unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to see you on the interview.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
All right, final hour of our week here on the Brock and Salk Show. That's right, Seattle Sports on 710, salesports.com. It's a football Friday, and they're powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Lyle's already chuckling in the back room there. He's getting ready for open phone lines, which we have in a half hour. We haven't really talked to any Mariners today other than in Need to Know, so I'm a little curious where the Mariner fans are at. We did take some phone calls earlier this week, and they were good ones, by the way. I thought that we had some really, really good phone calls earlier this week on Mariners and where they're at and where they need to go and, what the problem is. And gosh, they are really in a bind now because having lost again, really since then, 1-5 on the road trip, just a brutal spot to be in. So where are you at with that? And then, of course, as we get ready for the Seahawks season, how you feel about the upcoming week and the upcoming season, whatever is on your mind, 866-979-3776. We'll start taking some calls at 9:30 and run that through the end of the show and then turn things over to Bump and Stacy. Before we do it, though, so this started 4 weeks ago, counting down the top 20 most intriguing Seahawks, and there were some honorable mentions in there. So there were a couple of extra guys who got mentioned. There were, but as I said, I had to cheat a little bit this year because usually we do top 25, and the way the schedule worked, we weren't able to do that. So it kind of had to sneak a few people in there, and some of them, their stories are linked, right? Like Ernest Jones and Tyrese Knight, or JSN and Cooper Kupp. Like their stories are pretty well linked. K9 and Zach Charbonnet. I think those three stories by themselves are maybe more intriguing than just the individual player. But after counting down all the way from 20, it leads us today to number one.
Number one.
Yeah, I think if you're going to bring in a new starting quarterback, he's going to be the number one most intriguing Seahawk. It's pretty simple. Number one is Sam Darnold. And I told you, I thought about maybe Mike McDonald. I thought about he was number one last year. I thought about maybe Clint Kubiak, who I think does have a pretty interesting claim to that throne. But he's the new quarterback here in Seattle. He's going to start games, and we've barely had a chance to see him. And oh, by the way, no one really knows exactly what he is. I mean, he's the top 5 pick in the draft. I think he was number 4. He had an awful start to his career with the Jets, but who hasn't? He ends up going elsewhere and some struggles, but then seems to get it together. And he was really good for most of last season in Minnesota. He was an MVP kind of candidate, that type of season. And then it all ended terribly, and it just brought back a lot of old memories of what he was earlier in his career. So who is Sam Darnold? Can you get more out of him? Can he continue to grow, or was last year an aberration caused by having some great weaponry around him and a phenomenal offensive coordinator / coach in Kevin O'Connell? We don't know, but we do know that the Seahawks will likely go about as far as he can take them. Here was Trey Wingo.
That it all depends on Sam Darnold. Unfortunately, in this day and age, you go as far as your quarterback goes. And Sam had an unbelievable year in Minnesota. Of course, he was surrounded by one of the best receiving corps in football and one of the best head coaches for a quarterback to study under. And we'll see if that translates. Obviously, I don't think it helps that DK Metcalf isn't there anymore. And I think this is a very interesting division. I think it's a very, very competitive NFC West.
It is, and Darnold will be the story. That's why he's the number one most intriguing Seahawk. I asked Brady what he's learned this year, and I thought his answer was a good one, that he is a guy that everybody around him likes, that he is a leader that all of the other players want to play with and play for and support, and that does seem to be one of the hallmark differences between him and Geno Smith. I think another is just that, hey, Geno was Pete's guy. And we know that he was talking to Pete whenever things didn't go well last year. It's really hard to get full buy-in from a quarterback as a coach when you've come in and replaced his biggest supporter and maybe his only big supporter in the building. So, Mike McDonald, what have you learned about Sam Darnold over the last couple of months?
Try not to go in with expectations. It's okay, try to figure him out as a person, get to know him. What I love about Sam is his consistency, the fact that he cares, he's always trying to help his teammates. There's cool, subtle ways on how he goes about a business that doesn't scream, I'm a superstar quarterback. It just means that he cares about his teammates. He's trying to get it right. He wants the offense to work a certain way. He cares about the precision, how he operates. He cares about the details. Great competitor, but he does it his way, which is cool. It's authentic to him.
And at this stage of his career, he's starting to really know what that way is. I think he's learned a lot about himself. As you know, I've never been too high on Sam Darnold. When he was in college, I was not real sold on what he was at USC. The fumbles always sort of got to me. Obviously, seeing him with the Jets seemed to kind of prove that point, but I think you got to be pretty open to the fact that nobody is really set up for success starting their career with that organization, and what he did last year was eye-opening. I'm excited for him to be the Seahawks quarterback this year, and it is, I think, telling. It's very telling that his teammates have immediately started to support him and gravitate towards him. Jake Bobo was asked about him, and I think that you hear very clearly the respect and the love from one of his wide receivers.
Well, I mean, the cool part about Sammy was since he's got here, he's just kind of been the dude. And obviously there, you call different offenses, call different things differently, is for lack of a better kind of term. So he's had to learn that aspect of it. But ever since, he got here in whatever it was, April, you could tell he had a grasp on what we were trying to do. I don't know if he's been in this, similar schemes in the past, but it seems like he's had it, and he's a guy that I can go to, that Coop can go to, that all the receivers can go to. If we've got a question about what we're trying to do with, different route stems, timing stuff. So to have a guy like Sam, as physically gifted as he is, kind of mentally where he's at right now, has been huge for our growth as an offense.
Yeah, pretty cool. And I think you hear some of that respect of how hard he works and all the things he's done since arriving. As for Sam himself, because I want to make sure you get a chance to hear from him, look, the big question is, what is he? Right? We just said this. Is he the guy he was for 14, 15 games last year? Or is he the guy that he's been for most of the rest of his career? I think he feels like he's got something to prove. He said so in the Get Got podcast.
I don't know about that. No, I don't know about that. I know a lot of people, didn't believe in me. Still don't, which is fine. People are going to have their opinions, but at the end of the day, all that matters is the belief in this building, and the belief I have in myself. And those are the two things that matter to me. And, from what I can tell, that belief is really high.
So all of that leads you to your most intriguing Seahawks, Sam Darnold. I told you the first time I went to go see Seahawks practice, he did not look good. I asked Mike McDonald whether or not he was definitely the starter.
This is a crazy question.
He did not seem to think it was a very good question. So since then, he's played a lot better, Sam Darnold has, and he is the starting quarterback. He'll be so on Sunday, and we'll see what this looks like. But yes, the most intriguing Seahawk is, of course, the quarterback, the new quarterback, Sam Darnold. There you go. Was there really any doubt? I mean, how could it really be anybody else other than him? Of course.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
You got a dart in your neck. You crazy. Yeah, all right. But you know what was cool? That we only have the drop there, but the rest of that answer from Mike McDonald I thought was another really good, like, hey, look, he'll make some mistakes, but he's learning from it, and we trust him, and we believe in him. And I thought it really was. I know the crazy question part obviously got a lot of attention, but the rest of the answer was a really insightful look into, A, the way Mike McDonald coaches, and B, how he feels about Sam Darnold. So looking forward to it, man. We're going to get to see this with our own eyes, and if Sam Darnold's really good, this team will probably be really good. And if he's not, then we're going to be having some very interesting conversations at the end of the year about which of these quarterbacks in the draft you think are going to be a great long-term fit for the Seahawks. All right, we got just a couple more minutes left. We'll take your phone calls coming up in 20. I'll give you everything you need to know next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
The guy we've been wanting to speak to.
Wyman and Bob, every afternoon at 2.
Josh Naylor.
Have you gotten a sense of how the fan base has responded to you? Like, when we're on the air and we bring up your name, the texts start flying. They better re-sign him.
The fan base is crazy. It's like almost electric. You can sometimes feel the ground shaking a little bit when something cool happens. So far, the fan base has been awesome. Even my family says they're incredible and probably one of their favorites that they've had in my career.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
The fall, well, it's a great time to reset your workouts on new stuff, and Top Fitness has some great deals going on right now. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you've heard me talk about working out in your home gym. It's the best. From flooring to everything that goes in that gym, like treadmills, ellipticals, and strength training systems, well, Top Fitness provides it all. Top Fitness represents the very best brands available, like Washington's own Precor, yes, the company that created the elliptical, and Inspire Fitness, the leader in strength training machines, along with so many others. Give Top Fitness your room dimensions right now, and you know what? They'll do the rest. They'll do a complete fitness room design. And right now, get 0% interest financing. Mention you heard it from me and receive an additional $100 off any new treadmill or home gym. It's no secret that everyone, from personal trainers to professional athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit them online at topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Trying to lose weight? It's time to try Hers. At 4hers.com/radio, you can access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you. These include oral medication kits and compounded GLP-1 injections, the same active ingredient that's in Ozempic and Wegovy. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits starts at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help from Hers. Get started at 4hers.com/radio to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's 4hers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
It's the biggest car giveaway in the Northwest. We're giving away 30 cars in 30 days, September 1st through 30th. Mustang Madness at Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, Tacoma and Fife. Get 1 free entry daily. Earn additional entries just by playing your favorite games. Drawings every day at Tacoma and Fife. It's 30 cars in 30 days in September. Mustang Madness, only at Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, Tacoma and Fife. The entertainment capital of the Northwest, where excitement lives. Visit emeraldqueen.com for details.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in from every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
And Julio makes the catch. No fly zone in full effect.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and the strike 3 called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Be here for the stretch run at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are back next week for a 7-game homestand, including a 3-day Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway Monday to Wednesday against the Cardinals. Plus, all 3 games are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats for as little as $11. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. up first.
Huge game tonight, leading into a huge series for the Mariners. It's not going to be easy. Yes, Logan Gilbert on the hill helps, but Chris Sale, one of the better lefties, one of the better pitchers in the game, still goes tonight for Atlanta. Something's got to change, as the road trip has just been a miserable experience so far. 1-5 coming after the 2-7 trip right before it. The Mariners just have not played good ball on the road, and the biggest part of that, they haven't pitched well. They just have not pitched well on the road. Specifically, their starters have had problem after problem. So that's got to end in Atlanta, a team that has had all kinds of issues, but is still incredibly talented. We know that. In the meantime, you got teams kind of right hot on your trail. Rays won yesterday. Royals won yesterday. They're both 2 games back. Texas is only a game and a half back. John Morosi was asked yesterday, who's the biggest threat?
There's enough there with the Rangers to where, their bullpen's been pretty solid with Milner. He helps them out back there. I think they are going to be a threat down the stretch. Their schedule, though, is difficult. They've got a series against the Brewers next weekend. This is still the Mariners' spot to win or lose. The standings say it. I still believe that their talent right now, the healthy team they've got on the field, is better than any of the teams chasing them. Obviously, the Rays have jumped back into the race based on basically how they played against the Mariners this week. But I do think Texas is the greatest threat, but the greatest threat to the Mariners is the Mariners.
I think that's totally true, and they're the ones who are going to have to fix this themselves. Cal Raleigh, very positive on the Cal Raleigh show with Shannon yesterday.
We still have 20-something odd games left. You obviously want to put yourself in a great position. You have to get there in general, but there's a lot that can happen, some teams, really don't start clicking until late in the year, and it's something that, you want to be able to click all year. You want to be able to have a good group mentally, through 162, and can't change anything that's happened already. So, at this point, it's putting our best foot forward and trying to play good baseball. And people have said it before, we can get in, a lot of things can happen, and that's a pretty common phrase you hear throughout the league. We definitely have a lot of talent here. It's just about putting it together these last few weeks and putting ourselves in the best position to make the playoffs and make that deep run that we want to do.
Well, and that's exactly what he's got to say, what he should say, and hopefully what they believe. But they've also got to do it. And it starts tonight, starts with this series in Atlanta.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
We're ready to roll, man. It's been a long lead up to this first game, as it has been for most every team in the NFL. But we're really excited. We're excited to just roll the thing out there, kick it off, and get the season underway.
I think he speaks for everybody. That is number one most intriguing Seahawk and starting quarterback Sam Darnold getting ready for game day on Sunday against the hated Niners at home. The team has been really healthy throughout this camp, and just a couple of injuries that they've been dealing with. For the most part, they look great. Torrey Horton looks like he's going to be healthy enough to play. Same with Tyrese Knight, who we've barely seen. The one concern, Anthony Bradford showed up on that injury report yesterday with a back injury. We'll see if he's able to go today and see what Mike McDonald says. We'll find out a little bit more about the guy who won the starting right guard job over the course of camp. They're not alone, though. Niners had to add Christian McCaffrey with a calf injury yesterday. And, yeah, I think in general you wouldn't worry too much about someone being a partial participant. But given all of the injuries last year that they had and that McCaffrey had in particular, it is a concern. Doesn't mean I'm going quite as far as noted Bay Area blogger Grant Cohn is.
You've got to be kidding me. 3 days before the Niners start their season, Christian McCaffrey pops up on their injury report with a calf injury. And when they say calf, the 49ers, we know they usually mean Achilles. This guy had Achilles tendonitis, and that stuff doesn't go away. This is a sobering moment. A lot of people said he looked like the Christian McCaffrey of old in training camp. I said he didn't, because he's not. He's not the Christian McCaffrey of old. He's the old Christian McCaffrey, 29 years old, with Achilles tendonitis. He was babying it all off season, as anyone would, trying to get himself to week one. And then on the Thursday practice before the big game, the one practice where they put on pads and go 100%, he kicks it into fifth gear for the first time. and hurts himself.
I love this guy, man. Lyle
is dying.
You've got to see Lyle. I wish you could see Lyle's face throughout the whole
Every
thing.
time today that you play that, Lyle dies.
Like, he can't stop laughing. The smile on his face is so hilarious. Abe Lucas is going to start in this game, of course. He'll do so, and he should be pretty happy. He just got a nice new contract extension yesterday, 3 years, 46, to stay here in Seattle. He's happy about it. He's happy about their offensive line.
I mean, I think we have all the potential in the world to be really, really great. We have, I think as an O-line, we have a great relationship, and just everybody in the room in general. And I just think that we just keep putting our heads down and keep going, and it's nice to have some security in that regard.
Well, let's hope. Obviously, one of the main concerns after last season is the O-line, and if they have a good year, the team will probably have a good year.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Great start to the NFL season last night. It was a really entertaining football game. Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott were both excellent. CeeDee Lamb, unfortunately, with a couple of late drops, ends up hurting his team, and that was it. Jalen Carter ejected, I'm sure you know. Before the first play, he spat on Dak Prescott. You can't do that. It does look like Dak may have spit first in his direction at him, but not on him. Regardless, that's not something you can do. Chiefs and Chargers tonight from Brazil. And then if you're following the NFC West, Arizona's at New Orleans. Rams will host the Texans. And then Sunday Night Football's great. Baltimore and Buffalo, first big Sunday night matchup. That's everything you need to know. I will say, did you see the new Kraken third uniforms? Did you see those yesterday, the third jerseys?
I just saw that video with Marshawn, yeah.
Glow in the dark? Kind of interesting. So they're like black with bioluminescence on the S. They're kind of cool. They glow in the dark. So when you turn off all the lights right beforehand, like you'll see the S and nothing else. Lyle, what, you don't like that? You're out on glow in the dark? You're giving kind of a funny look.
I actually thought they were pretty cool.
They're okay. I don't love the black. I don't know. I saw some other like ideas for it that like leaned into the navy a little bit more that I thought were cool, but I got to see them on. I got to see them in the games before I make much of a call. But yeah, new third alternate jerseys for the Kraken. I always like those reverse retros that they did. I always thought those looked really cool. But all right. Okay, you guys ready? We've been waiting for it all week. Open phone lines. Where's this going to go today? We got some angry Mariner fans, I would assume. We've got some Seahawks fans who have to give final thoughts and what they think is going to happen this year and why. What's on your mind, guys? 866-979-3776. We're going to open up the phones to whatever you want to talk about. Seahawks, Mariners, anything else, like you name it. This is all you. 866-979-3776 is the phone number. What do the Mariners need to do? What's going wrong? What's left for them? What changes would you like to see made? I'm just kind of throwing out ideas. Again, 866-979-3776. Seahawks, what do you expect from Sam Darnold, this defense, this team? Mike McDonald in year 2. Clint Kubiak's offense in year 1. Jalen Milroe. Brady Henderson said he thought Jalen Milroe might take a handful of snaps every game. That blew me away. I mean, I love it. I think it's exciting, but whoa, 5-6 snaps a game? That was a lot more. I thought he was going to say 5 or 6 all year. He's saying 5 or 6 a game. Maybe give him a series here and there. I thought that was pretty interesting to change things up. So 866-979-3776. We'll open up the phones. We'll finish off the week, and we'll do it next on Brock and Salk.
Touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Mike Salk here. We've been talking about Snoqualmie Casino all day, and for good reason. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and the new hotel is beautiful. Go book a room at snocasino.com. They are stunning. They have unbelievable views, as does the new pool area, which is this whole indoor-outdoor deal, as does the new sports bar, which has great food, tons of TVs, the whole thing, man. The spa is great. The new convention center and entertainment place is great. The whole deal, like a new expanded non-smoking gaming floor, you name it, they nailed all of it. It'll exceed already high expectations. Go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Eastside Bavarian reminds listeners 460,000 children are reported missing in our country every year. Parents, please plan with your kids a safe, visible route to and from activities with at least one friend. Coach your kids to stay alert and be aware of their surroundings, and caution your children to never accept gifts or rides from strangers. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Eastside Bavarian, Western Washington's premier independent German car service specialist, online at eastsidebavarian.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising in a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafee from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Come on, there's no way there's two lines open right now. No way. I don't believe it. Not with the Mariners in this kind of a tailspin and needing to pull it out while still being in a playoff run, and not with the Seahawks getting underway on Sunday. There's no way. There's no way there's a person in Seattle listening to Seattle sports that doesn't have a take on one of these things for today, let alone Spitgate from last night and all the conversation we've had today. I just don't buy it. So jump aboard here, 866-979-3776. If you've never called before, even better. Love getting some new calls on a Friday morning. We'll start off today with James, who is in T-Town. What's up, James? Good morning.
Hi. So the Tacoma Rainiers are in first place, and the Pacific Coast League playoffs start in 10 days.
Okay.
So why not have the Mariners get those players who were very successful in Tacoma, Harry Ford, Emerson Hancock, get them back to Tacoma to lead the Rainiers to PCL championship?
Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand your point. You think that the PCL championship for Tacoma is more important than the Mariners trying to make the playoffs at the big league level?
If the Mariners are not using Harry Ford like they could have used him on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think they are using Harry Ford. They haven't used him yet, but I think they want to get him up and around the team. They want him to work with the pitchers and get accustomed to catching them. I think, and I've said this a bunch of times, and I'll say it again, like I think the biggest reason he's here is so that on days when Mitch Garver catches and Cal DHs, you can pinch hit for Garver late in the game. You haven't been able to do that because you'd have to bring Cal in to catch and then you'd lose the DH. They don't want to do that, obviously. And this gives you the opportunity to do it. But you got to make sure that all the pitchers are comfortable. And I'll just say this, AAA teams, AA teams, they exist to serve the major league team. I don't care whether they win or not. I don't care if they have their players for the playoffs or not. It means absolutely zero to me. You talk about the Vetter Cup not having any matter, and no kidding. I mean, that's a joke. But the AAA championship? Stop. You live to serve the major league team. It's the only reason they exist. Yeah, that one's not going to hold a lot of water for me. But I love the call. Thank you for giving me a chance to talk Harry Ford, because I would like to see him get in there. I don't think it's going to be starting tonight against Chris Sale. Talk about welcome to Major League Baseball. Hey, here you go. Here's Chris Sale. Have fun. But I think they got to use them. And I'm surprised they didn't find a way late in the game the other day in the blowout. That did surprise me. I'm with you on that. 866-979-3776. Let me go Jim in Spokane. Jim, good morning. What's up?
Good morning. Hey, I'll make this quick. I've just been around baseball a lot of years here in Spokane as a kid, L.A., and followed the Dodgers for years and was there in the Kingdom through all the glory years of the Mariners. Okay, he's not a Pinella coach Wilson, but and he's not a Sparky Anderson or a Lasorda, but he's got to change something up. So he's just got to shock them and change the lineup up. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, if you're not going to yell and get it into their heads, that, hey, get out there and play some baseball and play and hit. Let's do what we know how to do and just get fired up. In the middle of the game, I can remember as a kid listening to Lasorda just chew out Spokane Indians roster.
Yeah.
And lit up, they having a great game.
That's not a real thing anymore. And Jim, I love the call. Thank you for the call. It's just not a real thing anymore. That's just not really done. I know that there's a group of people out there that want to see it more often. It's just not really a thing. There really aren't managers in baseball that do that. Aaron Boone's a little fiery. You want Aaron Boone? Screaming at umpires every week, getting himself thrown out. I don't know. Doesn't do it for me. I think there are moments to show up and stand up for your players, and you got to be you. Dan Wilson is not a fiery guy. He's not emotional like that. He's pretty mild-mannered. So you got to lean into who you are. You got to do what you do best. Are there some opportunities to maybe hold some players more accountable? I think there are. Do I think that the Mariners needed some more rest? Like, I've got some things that I think Dan could have done differently throughout the year, but that's always going to be true with any manager. I don't know whether yelling at the players or getting them fired up. I mean, they're just going to see through it. It'd just be phony. Let me go to Roger. Roger's in Tacoma. What's up, man?
How you doing, buddy?
You ready for the season?
Hey, listen,
Oh, I'm ready for the season. Very excited for the season. But there's something that's been just bothering me from last season that I need to vent about. Okay, and that is the writers' dirty treatment of Leonard Williams in the year-end awards. I mean, they did this boy so dirty. So when the year ended, I'm excited that even though we didn't make the playoffs, I'm expecting Leonard Williams to be either first or second team All-Pro. So when he didn't get it, I decided to look into it a little bit. So I wanted you to hear the comparison between Chris Jones, who was a first-team All-Pro, and Leonard Williams, and tell me if it makes any sense. Chris Jones had 37 tackles. Leonard Williams, 64 tackles, almost double. Chris Jones had 19 solo. Leonard Williams, 37 solo, almost double. Chris Jones had 9 tackles for loss. Leonard Williams, 16 tackles for loss, almost double. And Chris Jones had 5 sacks. Leonard Williams had 11 sacks, more than double. Okay, so, and it's not just that. The 4 people that made it that ahead of him were Cam Hayward, Chris Jones, Zach Allen, and Jalen Carter. If you compare Leonard Williams to those 4 players, he's first in sacks, first in tackles for loss, first in solo tackles, second in total tackles, and he had a pick 6. Not just your garden variety defensive lineman pick 6, where the ball gets bad in the air, they rumble 10 yards or 5 yards or 2 yards or no yards for a touchdown. He dropped in his own coverage, fooled Aaron Rodgers, intercepted Aaron Rodgers, and returned it 92 yards for a touchdown. For an interior
look, Roger, you're making a good, clear point on Leonard Williams. He did get robbed last year. I think you're absolutely right. And the stats, look, stats with defensive linemen are a tough way to go, but the stats point in his direction, and we watched it. I mean, we know how good he was last year. Those other 3 guys or 4 guys are also really good, and it's not like any of them are bad players. Those are all really good choices, but I think it's fair to say that Leonard Williams is right there with any of them. And I said earlier, I think he's the best player on this football team heading into the year.
Dude, but if you're Leonard Williams, what do you got to do to make an All-Pro team? I mean, it's not just your performance on the field at this point.
You probably need your team to make the playoffs. You probably got to play in more big games and have your team make the playoffs because, look, there's a popularity element to that.
And not play in Seattle.
I don't know. I mean, when Sherm and those guys were here, they were making the playoffs every year.
They did him dirty. That's all right. I just needed to vent on that.
Thank you,
Roger. He had an incredible year last year. Incredible. Should have been All-Pro player.
I'm glad you're here to it. That's it. That's all you got today. I love you, Roger. Thank you. We'll go from Roger to Paul, who's in Renton. Good morning, Paul.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Hey, I was listening to the podcast from Wednesday where you had callers, and you were asking what the Mariners need to do to kind of flip things around. And I really think they need to just bring their own energy, and that's just not the lineup. That's the starting rotation too.
What does that mean to you? Bring your own energy. What does that mean?
Yeah, first off, the pitcher's got to go out there and shove. Secondly, the lineup can't go 3 pitches and end the top of the first. You got to work counts, take walks, and put the game in motion to put pressure on the other team. And it's kind of frustrating to see them almost lose the game in the first. It's just, but I do think there's a positive coming with Victor coming back, and I think that happens, if I'm not mistaken, this weekend.
Tomorrow, yep.
If tomorrow, yeah. He was a guy who did bring that energy last year. We didn't really get to see it very much this year in limited time. But I do think that is someone who can produce energy and get the game started off the right way by irritating pitchers, keeping the game in motion, and then allowing other guys to feed off that.
I think that's well said. I mean, Victor is a lot. Brock said that, and he's a lot, I think, for the other team to deal with. He does bring an amount of energy. He does bring an on-base skill. He does bring the frustration on the base paths for the other team. I mean, he's a good defensive player. He plays against lefties. It's too bad you won't get him tonight against Chris Sale because that would be really helpful for this series. But no, I think all of that is really well said. Those are all things they got to do. It starts to me, though, with the first thing you said, which is you can't get blown out early. You need your starting pitching to be better on the road. They have the 26th ERA, meaning the 5th worst ERA in baseball on the road. You're not giving yourself a chance to win those games when that's the way your team is built. That, to me, is the crux of all of this. You just got to pitch better. Got to pitch better, especially on the road. That's how your team is built. Go to Sean and Puyallup. Good morning, Sean. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, guys. Man, I have a thought about Josh Naylor. I have a big thought about Josh Naylor. So, he was on fire when he first came over here. He was really hitting the ball well. He was doing everything well. And ever since that shoulder injury, it was like a shoulder injury, it seems like he's been playing hurt. So if he is playing hurt, is it in his best interest and the team's best interest to keep putting him out there? Or, man, I don't know, because I know you traded for him. Do you have to, does Seattle feel forced to put him in the lineup now every day, even if he is hurt? He looks like he's playing so hurt. And
he's definitely dealing with something, right? They took him out of the game early the other day when they had the opportunity to do so. So probably a sign that he is dealing with a little something, especially when you would have liked to have seen maybe a couple of other people taken off their feet earlier in that game. As for how hard, I don't know how to answer it. I mean, he hit pretty well when he was at home. I mean, I think the quality of the at-bats are still really good. I like so much of what he does, but I think those are fair questions to ask. I don't think he's going to be coming out of the game or the lineup anytime soon. We'll see what it looks like tonight with a lefty on the mound, a tough lefty in Chris Sale. Maybe it is an opportunity to get him off his feet for one more, and, it's almost like a 2.5 day off for him and maybe try to get him back to 100%. It's a fair question. But again, I don't think he's the only one. I think you're seeing the effect of some of that exhaustion with Cal. I think you're seeing it with JP. Both guys have an OPS that is 240 plus points lower in the second half for them than it was in the first. That's a gigantic shift. And I do think playing every day at those key positions is a big part of that. 866-979-3776. Let's go back up to line one. We'll go to Norm in Spokane. What's up, Normie?
Hey, sir. How do you think about Kenneth Walker is going to have a marvelous season? I heard you talking about the Seahawks doing running, which I believe they should have been doing more before now. And so what's your take on that?
Well, it's a good question. I do think they're going to run it a lot. I don't think that Ken Walker is going to be the primary guy. That's my gut feeling. I've said this a bunch. I'll say it again. I just think that this team does not have the outside weaponry to get into down and distance problems. They can't be in 2nd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14. And they can't have the hit or miss element that Ken Walker brings. Ken Walker's a phenomenally talented running back, but there's a hit or miss element to it, and there's going to be more tackles for losses, more times where he tries to go for the big hitter, and I don't think this team can afford that. And Zach Charbonnet's not going to give you that. He's just going to charge straight ahead. He's going to knock you over. And instead of being 2nd and 12, it'll be 2nd and 8. And then 2nd and then 3rd and 4. And I think this team can handle 3rd and 4 a lot more than it can handle 3rd and long. So, yeah, I do think they're going to run the ball a lot. That seems to be pretty clear. I don't know whether Ken Walker's going to be the big beneficiary of it, but you know what? Maybe they've just been saving him and he goes out there and that's exactly what happens. We'll find out. 866-979-3776. Go to Mike in Lake Taps. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Salk, thanks for taking my call. Hey, first-time caller.
Appreciate that.
A couple things. Yeah, a couple things. So I played a lot of ball, never made it to the big leagues, got close, and here's my assessment of our pitching.
Okay.
Andre Munoz is like a field goal kicker that can't kick a field goal. He's stressed out on the mound. He can't throw his fastball for a strike. I know Dan's thinking about it. They got to get a backup plan there because he is not going to last in tight ball games, and you've seen that the last probably 6 weeks. In probably 7 or 8 close games. He got lucky a few times, but also gave up runs and took a couple losses, a couple blown saves.
It's funny you bring up Munoz. I'll give you I know you want to make another point, but the thing about Munoz, the last caller or a couple callers ago was wondering about Naylor being hurt. I've had some questions about Munoz just because the fastball has not seemed to have quite the same life on it. And he hasn't commanded it as well. Oftentimes that can be a sign. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't think it's mental. With Munoz, that's my gut. My gut tells me it's something probably more physical, but that's just gut. I mean, I really don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, well, if you look at his velocity, it is down. It's down to 96 instead of 90 pretty consistently. He will crank it up every once in a while, and that does kind of match what you're saying, or he might have a little slight injury. And the only other thing I wanted to say is on offense, we need to take strikes. When we're in the batter's box and a pitcher's struggling certain times of the game, we need to get in there and take a strike, make the pitcher work. Way too many times, and I hate to say it, but Julio does it all the time. He's always behind 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. If Julio could get to a 1-1, 2-1 count 60% of the time, he'd hit like 320.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if he'd hit 320 or not. And by the way, I don't want to start saying anything about Julio right now because I think he's really been their best player over the last month of the season. But yeah, look, those are all fair points. I do think that patience is a virtue when it comes to being an offensive club. That's for sure. All right, let's go to Lance in Chicago. What's going on, Lance? Good morning. Lance.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
There you go.
Thanks for taking my call again. Good talking to you again. I was wondering, I haven't heard too much about it. I listen to you guys every day, and I was just hoping to hear, we got a lot of money to spend. I was just wondering, why haven't we added some depth at the end with, like, Clowney, a guy who's familiar with McDonald and things like that? Like, just, we don't have to keep him, like, obviously not every snap, but, like, just have that extra depth of a guy who was really good with McDonald, and we got money to spend. So I don't know why don't we hear more about that, or why hasn't it been done
so
yet?
So that's come up as a possibility a few times. We've heard about him or Kyle Van Noy or someone along those lines. All I can make from it is they don't feel like they need it. And if they felt like they needed it, they would. And by the way, nobody signed him, so maybe nobody else feels like he's got all that much left in the tank. They must feel like Nwosu's going to be healthy enough to give them more than whatever they would get from Clowney or Van Noy or anybody like that. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, or Jamie Sheriff or one of these other guys that you could see out on the outside.
Yeah, Brady was pretty comfortable, maybe the last month of training camp that was going to happen, that they were looking into that. So something must have changed their minds.
And I got to imagine some of that has to be the Nwosu health. They must feel like he is able to give enough to them for this year that they don't need to spend more money, because you also have to create a roster spot for that. And maybe they just don't feel like that's a true problem for them. I kind of agree, by the way. Like, for me, if it was Trey Hendrickson, when we were having that conversation, like, if you're going to seriously upgrade on the outside, yeah, do it. But spending money just for spending money's sake on an old veteran player like Clowney, hey, maybe you end up doing it after week 1 when it's not guaranteed and you can always move on from him at any point. That sounds good. But I don't know that I want to be guaranteeing a veteran contract to Davion Clowney at this stage of his career. Let's keep going. These are good. Let's go to George in Seattle. What's up, George? Good morning.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Great.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Appreciate that.
Hey, I wanted to get your thoughts on Lumen this year deciding to put undercover officers in opposing teams' jerseys.
Yeah, I saw that.
Why now?
I'll tell you what. I don't know.
Well, by the way, I thought I remembered this, so I went back and looked. There's an article from CenturyLink in 2013 where they did this.
Okay.
So it's not the first time.
It's not the first time.
And it was for a 49ers game back then.
I got to be honest, man. I don't have a lot of opinion on this. What is your opinion?
I just think it's weird because for one, I've been to probably half a dozen games in the last, 2-3 years. And outside of, the normal, dogging on your rivalry back and forth during the game, I haven't seen a need to put people in that sort of position. I don't want to call it entrapment, but I just don't understand why they're needing to do it.
Yeah, I think entrapment would be going a little far. It's not like they're going to be out there picking fights, right, with with random people and then throwing them in jail. I don't know why. I honestly, it's a good question. I don't know a lot about it. I saw that it came out yesterday, and I said, okay, I guess that makes sense. I think you would also probably want undercover officers wearing Seahawks jerseys just in case it's, people coming in from the outside causing a problem. They must know what's going on or else this wouldn't be a part of it, right? I mean, they're not making this decision for no reason. I don't know it, but I would imagine there's something going on that we're not privy to that has been problematic enough that tells them this would be a good way to fix it. But I apologize. I don't know that much about it. So... I would never sit out in the regular stands with the people. Are you kidding me? I'm just kidding. 866-979-3776. Let's go to Evan in Tacoma. Back to Tacoma. What's up, Evan?
What's up, Mike? How's it going, man?
Great, dude.
First-time caller,
great.
long-time listener. Happy Friday.
That's so awesome. Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. I could sit here and talk about the macro with the Mariners and how I touted every single one of their starting pitchers as a number one for any other team, and now it looks like the complete opposite. I could talk about how we're looking at another potential epic collapse. We looked like we were a shoo-in for the playoffs, cruising along, and now we're where we're at. But my main focus, I'm looking at the micro here, guys. What's up with Julio Rodriguez and how he looks like he can barely hit over the Mendoza line the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year comes, and this guy looks like a shoo-in, Hall of Famer. I haven't looked at the numbers recently, maybe a week ago. I think his OPS is like 200 points higher than it is in the first half.
Yeah.
What do you guys make of that?
I don't have any idea. I don't know. And if we knew, I think, and if he knew, I think that he'd fix it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not like he plays his way into shape. He's in unbelievable shape. It's not like he takes the second half seriously, but not the first. I don't know. The weather was not bad through June. We actually had great weather this year. Like, I'll tell you what, man.
It's mind-boggling.
It really is. There's no good answer. Lyle, do you have a good answer to that? I don't have anything. I got nothing for you.
I don't either. I think, like you, if people had answers for it, we know it's the same thing for his home road splits. If I had an answer for that, we'd say it too.
It is weird, though. I mean, like, I grant him it's a weird thing. It's just one of those things that, like, look, if I even had an idea of what it was, I would at least propose it hypothetically. Like, I don't even have an idea of what it is. I have no idea. I don't get it. I don't know. Thankfully, this year, his first half was not as bad as it's been at other times, at least numbers-wise, and then he's turned it on. He hasn't been quite as dominant in the second half as we've seen. It's been a little bit more level this year, but the point is still well taken. I mean, he really is like two different players. It's really bizarre. What's been frustrating this year is that he's played really well here in the last month, and it hasn't really generated the same type of success for the team as it has in previous years, where Julio just carries them on his back. It hasn't worked, and that's mostly just because the pitching has not been good enough. Right? In the past, he's done that, and it's been like the complement to really good pitching, and it's sort of saved an offense that has not been good enough. This year, the pitching, unfortunately, has just sort of gone in the tank at the same time, and we've seen what kind of a problem that is for this team. They can't handle that. Nobody can. Let's see. You want one more? Let's do Caleb and Puyallup. Caleb, you get the last word. What's up, man? Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to, real quick, gauge your confidence level on the Hawks receiving core. After cutting MVS, our trio was already maybe not the best, and I was really stoked with the Cup signing, but if, say, he gets injured, are we really setting Sam Darnold up for success with our receivers?
Well, there's no doubt that is one of the focal points for this year, and we'll find out whether it's good enough. I'm not going to worry too much about wide receivers. I spent a lot of the last year plus saying that wide receiver wasn't the most important position on the field and that you could move on from DK as long as you spent that money differently, and the wide receivers will be what they are.
I mean, you did also get a guy in Elijah Arroyo that I think you believe in.
Yeah, let's see how the whole
as a pass
passing
catcher
game is, not just the wide receivers in general. I'm psyched, man. When we come in Monday, we're going to be talking about the Seahawks, talking about an actual game, talking about Sam Darnold, talking to Mike McDonald at 9:30. Tuesday, we're going to have DJ. Wednesday, we're going to have Joel Klatt. We got the Mariners coming back from Atlanta, hopefully able to salvage something from this road trip. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to be in here on Monday. We'll have a lot to talk about, a lot. Stick around. Bump and Stacy are next, and then Wyman and Bob, everyone's going to give their final thoughts leading into the Seahawks season. If you want a number, I'll go 10-7. What the heck? I kind of feel like it might be 9-8, but I'll go 10-7. I'm in a good mood. It's Friday. I'm going to go play golf. We'll catch you guys Monday morning at 6 a.m. Until then, the hay is in the barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones. As strong as any defensive player he faced, he had the feet of a dancing bear, and he had hands that once they gripped you, he wasn't going to let go.
The next great chapter in Seahawks history begins Sunday in the season opener against the 49ers at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Trying to lose weight? It's time to try Hers. At 4hers.com/radio, you can access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you. These include oral medication kits and compounded GLP-1 injections, the same active ingredient that's in Ozempic and Wegovy. Through hers, pricing for oral medication kits starts at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help from Hers. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/radio. forhers.com/radio.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Seattle, your waterfront park is here. Celebrate the opening of 20 acres of world-class public space on the downtown shoreline at the grand opening celebration September 6th. Enjoy free live performances, family activities, cultural experiences, and more across the entire park. From Overlook Walk to Pier 62. Join Friends of Waterfront Park in the city of Seattle for this once-in-a-generation event. Be part of history. Plan your visit at waterfrontparkseattle.org.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the final days of Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep